There's a lot to discuss in gaming news. It is Friday, November the 21st. I will be out of town next week, the week of Thanksgiving, hoping to have some uploads for you guys while I'm gone, but plenty to discuss today and look at and react. And one of those things is the Steam machine pricing. There's been a lot of debate about it. We're going to look at a segment with Linus Tech Tips where he discussed it and the response he got, and we're just going to kind of weigh in and discuss and give our own thoughts and kind of have a back and forth with you about where should the price on this thing land. Also, the alleged claims throughout this year that Yotei was going to flop and that Ghost of Yotei did flop. It's kind of hard to make that case now, and we're going to look at why that is. It's comical and entertaining and pretty much what I said would happen this year. Also, Destiny 2 seems to be getting a little desperate. They sent out a survey that seems to indicate they're wanting to bring some things back that for a long time they seemed very hesitant to bring back. Got a great video as well on the subject of Arc Raiders and why are people trending towards PvP and others trending away from PvP. It's a really great breakdown. I think it's going to be really helpful for the ongoing conversation about that game as a social experiment. And a really cool video about players preferring single-player games and a lot of dialogue about how live service games are taking over and pretty much the only thing anybody wants to play. Cool little survey indicating that single-player games seemingly are here to stay. And I've got a great game to show you. Now, I'm going to try to use timestamps for those of you that are watching this later. I've not been doing that because we've been covering a lot of single topics, which that's not conducive to timestamps. But I've got a bunch of things for you today that we are going to be reacting to and commenting on. So those of you that are in the live audience, do me a quick favor and hit that like button for me. Appreciate you guys being patient with me today. We were having some issues. Seemingly they have gone away. I did a 20-minute test and we didn't have that problem happen again. Hopefully updating the drivers and resetting my modem fixed whatever was happening. It seemed like the GPU was cycling and doing something every so often. And the driver update, hopefully, we're going to cross our fingers, hopefully it fixes it. If you're watching this later, be sure to hit the like button as well. It helps me even when I'm not live. And consider becoming a member. A really great way to be a part of what we do here is to be a member. And let me start the stage in the Discord so people can listen there as well. Good day to you boys here in the Discord. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening. And Wired Rope's going to start things off. We may not have an evening stream tonight. It is Friday. It is indeed Friday. And let me go ahead and add this 5-bomb. Boom. And we're at 197. We are now 3 away from you guys. I'll owe a member to whoever hits it, but we need to be at 500 in order to have a Friday night stream. So you're going to have to summon some of the big boys to assist with that. Let me go ahead and I'm going to refresh this so I have fan funding pulled up on YouTube as well, just in case I missed anybody. It looks like I grabbed Ninja of Death at the very end of the last stream. I added that one. So thank you so much, Ninja of Death, for becoming a brand new member as well. I wonder if people are spending Christmas... I wonder if people are spending on Christmas and Lono slid down the priority list. It's possible. It's possible. Last week, you guys went absolutely bonkers and unlocked an extra stream on Saturday, which certainly you guys could do again this week. We could have a nice send-off stream and a nice community game, day on Saturday before I get out of town. Honestly, if you guys go even more crazy than that, I could squeeze out a Sunday stream. I really, really could. The schedule is a bit open right now, so I would be able to do that for you. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You guys have gone crazy on Fridays before, but typically Fridays are tough because the turnout's really weak on YouTube. Usually on Fridays is one of our biggest challengings. It's one of our most challenging days to cover because the gaming news kind of dries up a little bit. So. But on the subject of the Steam machine pricing, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. I'd be interested to see what would you guys be willing to spend on the Steam machine? Like, where are you on this topic? I mean, there's a lot of people weighing in on this, and I think it is one of the bigger dilemmas that's going to face the device. Yo, it's good, Joker Quinn. I had to cancel membership and cut the gifting due to financial stuff. Hopefully it's just temporary. That's not a problem at all, Joker Quinn. You were so faithful and so consistent. I completely understand when that happens. You always prioritize yourself first, always. And for those of you that have supported the coffee over the years, we're doing a huge sale right now. We're moving through our light and medium roast inventory. You can get a 12-ounce bag of coffee for $10.95, which right now that's cheaper than pretty much anywhere else you can get coffee. So instead of buying it from the grocery store, you can buy it from me, supports me, and you get a great deal on the medium and the light roast. So use the coffee command or go to reforgeroast.com. If you're watching this later, you can do that anytime. If you order everything today or over the weekend, we should be able to ship that before we go out of town. But next week when I'm in Ohio, obviously if you submit an order, I won't be able to do anything with it. Best I can do is $150. Okay, so you guys are weighing in on the price here. $600, $650. Hilly says 1,000 tops. We got some $550. $850 is my cap, says Jaguar. Here's my thought on this. I think the Steam machine is a great idea and a great value offer, but I think the struggle's going to be your target audience is somebody who is familiar enough with Steam or the idea of putting Steam in their living room that they would want to do it, okay? That's a pretty generic target audience, but I think that's the target audience, right? Thank you, Brooklyn, for 28 months. Why do people want games to flop? That's the real question. That is the real question. So, like, I think your target audience are people that are aware of Steam to some degree. Some people are aware of it to a high degree. They have like a huge library. They got a PC now. Some people prefer to game on console, but they know what Steam is. They watch the shows. They see the trailers and like, yeah, Steam gets a lot of titles that I don't get. A lot of indie games, a lot of AA games. It'd be great to have that in my living room, okay? That's a pretty generic sort of category that I'm creating, but I think that's pretty much everybody that could potentially want one, okay? I think the minute that you get out of the 500 to 600 range, the minute you get into like the 700 to 900 range, I think you're going to start to lose the console boys. Because the console boys are going to say, wait, what? What do you do? What, huh? It's not even stronger than the PS5 or the Series X. It certainly isn't stronger than the Pro. Why am I spending all this money? Now, the pushback would be, well, the value proposition is a conveniently sized PC for your living room. Well, okay. Is that value proposition strong enough? I don't know. I don't know if that value proposition is strong enough for somebody to drop $700 to $900 on this device. Because the reason that they might think that's not really worth it is you could pretty much do that right now with a pre-built. As soon as you get to the 700 to 900 range, you're getting into pre-built pricing territory. You can walk into Best Buy right now and get something for around $1,000. So now you're closer to, to pre-built PC pricing territory, and you've moved away from console pricing territory. I don't think you lose all the console boys, but I think you start losing the console guys once you get into the $700 to $900 range. I just think that's just the natural course, is that people are going to say, oh, I don't know about all this, man. That seems a little expensive, right? I also think in PC land, you're going to start to lose your PC guys, because PC guys are going to be aware of the fact that, like, wait, I've got a decent rig. I could build something to put into my living room. I could buy a pre-built to put into my living room. Is it really worth having the Steam OS in the small box, right? Is it worth having that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they might say, well, I don't know. I mean, that's $700 to $900. Maybe they could upgrade their GPU. Maybe they could spend a little bit more and get a better pre-built. Because there's certainly people right now on, gaming laptops and weaker rigs who could look at the Steam machine and think, that's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good offer. That's a pretty good power threshold. Maybe they're not interested in upgrading later on down the line, because let's be honest, this thing doesn't let you do much. I mean, you could do stuff with the RAM and the hard drive, but with 8 gigs of VRAM, you're going to be kind of stuck within a certain hemisphere of performance for, the lifetime of the device. The only value this would be for the Steam machine would be the fact that people who don't want to buy a PS5 coming from Xbox. Sure. Yes, and then again, price could kick them right out of the equation. Like, if somebody sees this thing, like, again, we're in the 700 to 900 range. Holy cow! Some anonymous gifter just dropped a 50 bomb on Twitch, and it's going to be Kratos. Boom! Just like that, there he is, boy. We are now 3 away from me owing you guys another one. So I owe you for the 200 and the 225. So I owe Twitch 2 members right now. You round that sucker up to 250. I'll owe you 3. Man, let's see some farty bomb emotes. And you guys are going to have to rally if you want that stream tonight with Madam. I don't even know what you guys would want us to do. I mean, we could kind of do a variety show tonight. We could have her react to gaming news. We could play some Arc Raiders. We could play The Quarry. We've got a lot of things we could do tonight with you guys. And if you go all the way to stretch, which would be an insane result from today if you guys go all the way to stretch, goodness gracious. But if you go all the way to stretch, I will also do Community Game Night tomorrow. Lone Wolf's going to gift one over here on YouTube. Thank you so much. Severin Evans with 19 months. I don't know how Valve doesn't move alone. They make this just like the Steam Deck, Asus, MSI, Lenovo, and others will jump into most likely. The sentence kind of fell apart on me, Severin. You're going to have to try again. I don't know Valve. Oh, you're saying I don't know. Valve doesn't move alone. They make this just like with Steam Deck, with MSI, Lenovo. People jump into most likely. Are you saying that you think like other manufacturers are going to get involved? You know, and Haseo gifts a member over here on YouTube and gets us to 249. And we have a hype train started on Twitch. I tell you what we can do. I'm almost out of those incentives. Hang on. And Haseo secures the 250 for YouTube. So I owe 2 members. I owe 2 members of Twitch and 1 member to YouTube. Hang on. There's a way for me to give you guys a discount. Where is that? Here we go. Subscription discounts. I have 1 ticket left. It'll expire at the end of this year. 35% off. I have 62 hours remaining. See, I thought it would have made more sense to run that like during Christmas, like the week of Christmas or leading up to Christmas. I have that until the end of the year. When do they give you more? Do they give you some... You can start new promos anytime until December 31st. You cannot combine your own gift sub discounts with any other gift sub promotion. We might want to wait and hold on to that. Honestly. Okay. Well, let me gift what I owe to you guys, and we can continue the conversation. So from where I sit, I think the issue with this thing is going to be, you know, does somebody want to pony up that money? Haha, pony. You know, they want to pony up that money if they feel like all it's really doing is, you know, it's giving them like a mediocre PC for their living room. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a great item. Like, I want it, but the price is going to be a huge question mark. Let me add another one here for Loch Ness. Thank you so much. 43 months in a VIP. Save it for the Game Awards. Yeah, we could save it for the Game Awards, or we could save it for like the week of Christmas. I only have 1 left. I didn't know that they were limiting. I thought I could use it until the hours ran out. I've got 62 hours, so I didn't use it very effectively. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about spending $700 to $900 for basically like the previous gen machine, because if it comes out next year, like, we're really close to the new gen. A $5 super chat from Severin says, I'm saying, just like with the Steam Deck, it won't be the only one. Other manufacturers will jump in. Yes, I agree with you. Severin. I think that you'll see like other versions of the Steam machine made. And we got 2 minutes on the hype train to roll it over to level 9. I don't think I can help, but I will try. Let me gift, because I owe you guys 2. Let's see. Gift 1 sub. Let me see. I don't think I can add to the hype train. The main contention is the lower specs. Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, I can help with the hype train. In the past, they didn't let me do it. I swear they didn't let me do it. Well, I rolled the hype train over. I bought you guys some time. There we go. I'll use the gifts that I owe you guys strategically like that to help, because now we've got 4.5 minutes to roll the hype train over. Let's try to get 100 likes on YouTube as well. ROG Astral Steam Machine for $3,000. Yeah, like Asus could have like a stronger one, right, for like $1,200, $1,500, whatever. I'll add that even those higher spec alts, the Steam Deck is still the most popular device because of its functionality, says Omar. Yeah. Well, and the other thing to consider too is that, you know, a lot of people who bought the Steam Deck, they like Steam, they like Valve, right? It's a kind of a natural choice for them. Let me add another one here. Thank you, Butters, for 48 months of memberships. You're the best. Good morning to you too, Feed. I appreciate you being here. We're going to have to do some of these reactions a little bit earlier in the stream than I typically like to. So I think at about 30 minutes into the broadcast, I want to pull up the Linus Tech Tips video and kind of react to it. I'm going to do a really quick test right now. I'm just going to start recording, and we're going to make sure that like the system doesn't freak out. It doesn't mess up my audio, all right? And then I'm going to stop recording. Let me know if anything funky happened. We've been having some ghosts in the machine lately. And that was really weird. I don't even know when that happened. And then this morning we had some oddities as well. It seems that the drivers fixed it. We're talking about hardware that is similar, right? I don't think we will see other versions from third parties. We will see people use the OS, though. Yeah, I mean, I could see pre-built machines or other systems using the Steam OS, Butters, for sure. What you're saying is you don't think people are going to, like, come to the market with an Asus Steam machine. You think they'll come to the market with like a pre-built and you can elect to do it with the Steam OS or Windows is what you're thinking, which I certainly think there'll be people that probably decide to do that. Look, everyone is crying about the high price. To me, I'm not so much like worried about the high price. I'm interested in what will happen if it's priced more in the hemisphere of like a pre-built PC. If it's $700 to $900, like if the more expensive one is like $900 and the cheaper one is like $800 or something like that, if you're in that hemisphere of pricing, I just wonder what the target audience is going to think. Are they going to think, well, wait, like this thing is roughly the strength of like a 6-year-old console, and I'm spending more than I would on a console. Now, obviously, again, the response would be yes, but form factor, convenience, Steam OS, access to Steam, those are pretty nice value offers. Are they good enough value offers to justify that level of price point? The consumer is going to be the one that determines that, right? Like whoever they're envisioning buying this thing, if that consumer base says, you know, yes, no, somewhere in the middle, it ultimately is not like when people, we've had this discussion many times about like cosmetics in video games. And people will say things like, you know, these cosmetics are too expensive. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, you might think that. But if the consumer base is essentially, you know, paying into that and they're willing to spend $15 or $20 on a Fortnite skin as an example, then the market is determining what the price can be. I think the same thing applies with the Steam machine. The exact same thing applies with the Steam machine. The market's going to determine whether or not they got the price right. You know, whether or not they hit the sweet spot. You know? If you charge me $700 for the device and it runs Cyberpunk worse than my Series X, I'm going to be pissed. We got 30 seconds left on the hype train on Twitch, and then we'll have. I don't think we can get another one. I think it'll be done for. I think that'll be done for the day. Oh, as far as I don't think you can get like other hype trains, right? Agree, Reforge. But does Steam want casuals or hardcore gamers? That depends on the price. Well, consider that though, Batman. Consider that. Let's say they want the hardcores. Is a hardcore person with a really nice rig? Are they going to be willing to spend $800 on a not very strong device for their living room? If it's $500 or $600, they might be like, yeah, that sounds pretty nice. But if it's $700 to $900, they might say, yeah, I'm good, bro. Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like a hardcore person might look at it and be like, are you kidding me? Now, what do I want that for? You know, like that's too expensive. Or because they're hardcore, it might seem like a really inexpensive purchase. If they've got thousands of dollars invested in their rig, an $800 to $900 device, you know, an $800 to $900 device to them might be nothing. They're like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just put that in the living room. Like if they're like an enthusiast. The target market isn't price sensitive, looking for convenience and lifestyle. Somewhere in between hardcore and casual. I think what Eugene is saying is a good element of the discussion to consider. They're targeting people that are not price sensitive. They're like, I spend money on this hobby, and that is a nice device. It's convenient. It'll let me play indies and AA games in my living room. Somebody that's currently on a gaming laptop or like a mid to low level PC might see it as a pretty cheap and convenient upgrade. Or just a lateral upgrade. They're like, yeah, it'll roughly be the same power of what I have now, but it'll be in my living room, right? There are tons of people in the Steam hardware report that are in this hemisphere of power and lower. So they might see it as like, yeah, $800 or $900 is not bad at all because I'm not buying a $1,500 pre-built and I'm able to put it in my entertainment stand and play video games, you know, very conveniently on it. It's not about price sensitive, though. It's price versus power offered. That's where what I just said, I think, comes into play, Yanadid. I think there are enough people in the Steam user base that are just like, I've been playing on a gaming laptop. I've been playing on a pretty mid to low level rig. The Steam machine's great for me. It'll suit their needs. How many games does the average Steam user buy? How much do the power users buy? It may be that most people spend $200 a year, but if you drop $1,000, if you go to the people already buying anything they want on Steam, and then price won't matter, and you'll make it easier for them to spend. Yeah, they've got one more room to spend money in, right? They've got one more room to like be reminded that there's a big Steam sale going on. That's a good point. Every market is price sensitive. The difference is tolerance. I do think the difference is also novelty. If people see the novelty of this as the strongest piece of the offer, right? If they're like, well, that's a great solution, and people are like, well, it's not strong. It's a little weaker than a PlayStation 5. They're going to be like, I don't care. They're like, I'm not buying it for that. I'm buying it for the novelty of having the Gabe Cube for my living room, right? Steam machine will be a niche item. I do think some of the predictions that we've been seeing about whether or not this thing is like a threat to the console market, I don't think so, for a couple of reasons. I don't think it's a threat to Nintendo because Nintendo is just Nintendo. Like, you can't really compete with them because they are such a unique item, unique value prop, and then they got the IP that doesn't go anywhere. I don't think anybody can really take them head on because they're sort of like a rocket that's got velocity out into like another universe. So like they're kind of off the table. I don't think it's going to compete with PlayStation because PlayStation's made it very clear, even at their scale of production, they have struggled to keep price down. So I don't think Valve can get to that level of production to get price down. So they're automatically going to be out of the pricing threshold of a PlayStation, which means most people are not going to see it as a competing product. If the Steam machine is $700 to $900 and you can get a PlayStation for $400 to $500, well, of course, because there's sales going on right now and stuff. Well, then the average consumer doesn't feel like, I don't think they're going to be comparing those two devices. I don't think it's a threat. I also don't think it's a threat to the Magnus. Yo, Winged Wheel gifts a member and gets us to 253. Thank you so much. This has got to be at 500 if you guys want that Friday night stream with Madam tonight. We can go the distance and go for Saturday and Sunday. We're going to need it to go crazy though. Yeah, you guys are going to need to put the bat signal in the sky. Get some of the big dogs in here. In about 5 minutes we're going to start going through some of the segments though. I've got the videos and stuff I want to react to. Here's why I don't think it's a threat to the Magnus. It's more of a threat to the operating system. I think Steam OS is the true threat to Microsoft's plans, because Microsoft wants Windows to be the largest gaming platform. So I think it's more of a threat to the OS. I think the Magnus and the Steam Machine are going to be in very different hemispheres of money and value prop. So I feel like the Magnus is going to be a high-performant, premium console PC hybrid that's probably going to cost $1,200 to $1,500. The Steam Machine sounds like it's going to be in the $700 to $800 range. We're going to check out Linus's video in a second, and we'll kind of see what he's saying about it. So that's why I don't think it's a threat to the Magnus. Now, there is an element of consumer inertia, and Steam's going to come to market first with this idea of PC console box for your living room. Like, it's a PC that's largely functioning like a console and will appeal to, to some console users. So, for all those reasons, I don't see the Steam Machine being able to disrupt the console market or like a threat to Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox. I think Microsoft has big plans for Windows. You'll notice today they're pushing out the full screen experience. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they're fast tracking that in response to Steam Machine. I think they want to be in front of people, and they want to streamline it and shrink it and strip it down and make it less bloated and make it more enjoyable, because it did not get the best feedback on the Xbox ROG Ally X. It did not get the best feedback. And so I would imagine they're wanting to get that thing kind of moving. And the reason they want to get that thing moving is because they want Windows to be the largest gaming platform. Yo, WGC83 with 24 months and a member plus. Thank you so much. Bumps the line to 254. He says, Steam Machine seems like they are giving an entry-level option for PC gamers, trying to remove the majority of the problems console gamers have with PC. I think that's fair, and I do think the price is going to play a role in how effective this thing is in that endeavor, right? In their endeavor here to get this thing into the hands of people and get this thing in front of people, I think price is going to play a role. Because if you're trying to give people an entry-level option for PC, and it's it's $900, they might look at they've been, think about what we're saying, right? These people have looked at pre-builts. They've seen pre-builts for about $1,000, $900,000. What's the cheapest pre-built you can get right now, right? Let's see. Walmart PC. Yeah, there's a CyberPower PC right here for $800 at Walmart. There's an iBuyPower for $760 at Best Buy. Right? So you have to see the minute the Steam Machine is in this threshold. Again, you've made yourself adjacent. You're making yourself adjacent to a pre-built. If you're going into Best Buy, you're going to Target, you're going wherever. If you're looking at these types of devices and you're looking at the prices and you're like, well, the Steam Machine is basically the same exact cost as that. What you're hoping happens is they see that pre-built, the fans, the RGB, and they're like, I don't want to do that. That's complicated. I don't want to put that in my living room. They look at the little box and they're like, well, that looks like a console. It's plug and play, and it's roughly the same amount of money, but I can have a PC in my living room. They might think that's fair. That's a fair price if they're basically pricing pre-builds. Yo, Emp, thank you so much for 39 months. We are exactly 20 members away from the next milestone. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. Emp says, as a PC gamer, this Steam Machine has to do one thing: make Windows no longer required to play on PC for PC games. If they drop Steam OS at the same time, it's over for Microsoft and the PC side. Well, Steam Machine is shipping with Steam OS. Is it not? I believe that it is. And bet PS6 drops somewhere around $550 to $600 given costs. Eugene says, let's say a pre-build, I'd be okay with 1,000. I'd pay 1,300, maybe even 1,400 for a Steam Machine equivalent. Corey says, Lono, looking at the specs of that PC, it's roughly the same as the Steam Machine. I don't know. I think the Steam Machine is sort of cooked. Why? Yeah, why? You've established that you think it's cooked. I'm not connecting the dots here. If you guys haven't hit the like button, help us out here. We had a rough start today because I was having some issues with my GPU. Seemingly the drivers fixed it. So help us out. Go crazy on the likes. Check your renewals as well. Check your primes. If you guys hit the $sign on YouTube, you might have a membership to celebrate. You might. And that adds to the total and it helps me out. I refuse to believe 800 is minimal. All the Xbox screams so loud that an out-of-the-box PC can outperform the PS5 Pro every time for the same $700 price. Well, I mean, yes, a lot of people spoke rather ignorantly about what you could get out of a system for, you know, for roughly the same cost as the Pro. We know that all of that was buffoonery and puffery. People were talking out of their rear ends. We don't need to concern ourselves with those people. Like they were dealing in tribalism, not in factual presentation of like what something could do. If you do a completely, you know, objective, no bias comparison of devices and power, pretty much everybody said back then, it just falls apart. Like it's just, there's just no reason to even consider what those folks said. It was a lot of showmanship for clicks. It wasn't genuine. A lot of them knew what they were saying was ridiculous. It was they're pandering to a certain degree. They got to pander to the audience. I mean, come on. It doesn't really weigh in on the discussion anymore. SteamOS currently lacks support for Intel CPUs and NVIDIA GPUs. That's an important step for viability. The Steam Machine's a beautiful little cube and Windows free. It's almost amazing. Unfortunately, it won't be powerful enough to play the space sims that I want it for. Yeah, I think performance is going to play a role for certain folks. You know, I think performance is going to play a role for certain folks. They're going to say, it's just not strong enough. You know? And I think that that's fair. I think that that's fair. So, all right, let's start going through these segments, and we'll use timestamps. And if you missed some of the segments today, we may end up uploading these segments throughout next week because I won't be here. And repurposing segments is something that a lot of YouTubers do because it makes it easier for you guys to consume the content. Like if you're trying to, you know, find the footage in these streams, a lot of the times you got to look for the timestamp or like wait for the thing to process so you can download it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to a particular timestamp here in Linus's video, and he's gonna talk for about 10 minutes. Hang on, my extension's not working. I like to turn off the player controls when we do this. What's going on here? Huh. My extension's not working anymore. Let me try a different video. Interesting. I have this extension. Manage extensions. Let me see if it's working. Hide the YouTube player controls. Yeah, I don't get it. It's not that big of a deal. We can watch it with the player controls turned on. Yeah, it's not working. Huh. It's a really, really nice extension. I wonder if the UI update to YouTube has broken it. It probably has. It probably has. It's probably broken it. It's fine. Okay. Because they just updated their UI. All right, here we go.
machine. Actually, no. What I want you guys to do, chat, get out of here, bug, is let me know what you would pay for it. So basically, it's a 7600 CPU and a 7600 GPU. This is not a super powerful machine. Valve is upfront saying that they are going to be relying on FSR in order to achieve 4K. And even then, man, like 8 gigs VRAM, anyone else would be taking a ton of flack for shipping a game console today with 8 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah.
I think this is probably why I wanted to watch this the most with you guys. I think that's really, really fair. You know, given a lot of the conversation about consoles from people who are very much on the PC side of things, and they talk about how consoles are limited in power, they're closed systems, so, you know, you can't upgrade them, you know, and they're not that performant. I remember when the PS5 Pro was announced and the hardware specs leaked, everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be CPU bottlenecked, it's going to be, it's a joke, it's a scam, it's a whatever. And lots of YouTubers said it's a scam, right? So I'm not referring to any particular person when I say that. It was a very, very common talking point. And it is interesting now to not see that happening. Like Valve's just kind of getting a pass. Now, again, I've not consumed all the content that's out there. If there are PC boys that are pointing this out and taking an issue with it, then that's good. That's them being consistent. But a very, very consistent tribal drum that those guys like to bang on is that consoles are weak and bottlenecked or not as performant. And this thing's shipping with 8 gig of VRAM. So it's really going to limit it, which is fine. But I think that comes into the pricing discussion quite a bit, because it does mean that this is basically a AA/indie, you know, gaming machine. And if you want to play higher performant games, you're going to have to rely on certain things and do a little bit of tweaking, which, as Zubair is saying, 8 gig is fine if it's cheap. And that's why we're watching this, because it doesn't sound like it's going to be cheap.
So we've got a lot of people talking pricing in here. I'm gonna read these. 600, 600, 600, 600, 600, 350, 800, maybe 600, 1,000, you're crazy.
So he says 1,000, you're crazy, right? I mean, if you're close to 1,000, I mean, I don't know. That's why I said I pulled up a pre-built rig on Best Buy. There's a $760 iBuyPower rig right now on Best Buy. Somebody in chat said, yeah, that rig's pretty close to a Steam machine. So if you're in that pricing threshold, you're going to have people thinking like this is really no different than me buying a pre-built PC. So
500 tops or DOA, 250 PS5, so like 500 to 600, 599, 699, 500. Okay. A lot of 500 to 600.
I don't think so.
I can't tell you what the price will be because I literally don't know. But when I said, you know, I'm disappointed that it isn't going to follow a console pricing model where it's subsidized by the fact that, you know, the manufacturer is going to be taking 30% of every game sold on it over the lifespan of this thing, because I feel that would be a more meaningful product. And they kind of asked what I meant by, well, what do you mean by console price? And I said, well, $500. Nobody said anything, but the energy of the room wasn't great.
Well, and this is the quote that's been circulating, right? This is the quote that's been circulating. So basically he tells them, like, are you going to land, you know, console adjacent? Because the consoles you go to the market right now, they're all around 500. Yes, there are more expensive ones, you know, obviously with the Pro, and there's more expensive versions of the Series X. But from the Series S all the way to the Pro, you're generally orbiting around $500. That's kind of like the central price that people kind of have in their mind. And you can go above or below that if there's a sale, or if you're wanting something that's a little bit more powerful like the Pro, or, you know, something flashy like the 2 terabyte Series X or whatever, okay? So no reason to get into a discussion about are consoles, you know, priced appropriately right now and price increases. That's all kind of immaterial to this discussion. What in most consumers' mind is that if you're selling something like this for the living room, $500 is sort of that average price that people are thinking. And the reason this quote's circulating is because a lot of folks in the early days were saying this device is going to be about $500 or $600. Okay, that's what people were saying. Now they were saying that based off of the hardware, We didn't have to speculate on what the specs were. I loved that Valve right away, they were like, it's a PC and here's all the guts, right? They didn't hold back, they didn't wait, they didn't try to keep it in the dark. Now, the price, they're not telling us, and I think that's because they're probably keenly aware of the discussion that we're having right now and the discussion that many people are going to have in the coming weeks and in the coming months is that thing better be, less than 700 in many people's minds. Like 700 or 800 is where you're going to start losing people. Now, that doesn't mean that the thing is DOA. I think that's an extreme position to take. But the minute you get in the $700 to $800 range, I think you start losing folks. Now, the question is, are they willing to lose those folks because they don't want to subsidize it with software, which is something they're going to talk about, I think.
So,
a console isn't $500. Maybe that's why.
I mean,
PS5 Pro is $700.
Yeah, the PS5 Pro, but we're talking the Pro. I mean, the Pro is markedly more powerful than the Steam Machine.
Sure.
So, PS5 Pro Radeon equivalent. I think it's more equivalent to like a 7700.
I don't follow consoles enough.
Yeah, well, don't follow consoles enough, and yet you knew the price of the Pro off the top of your head. I mean, I feel like that's a common thing that happens in these discussions. Like the PC-leaning guys, they tend to do that. They tend to be like, yeah, it's like, it strikes me as the people who say that, like, you have to pay for internet. No, you don't. And summarizing console pricing with the Pro. It's like, come on, man. You don't have to follow the console industry to know that the Pro is the most expensive console in the market, which means it's not representative of console pricing. That would be like trying to use the 2 terabyte Series X as representative of like Xbox's pricing. That's not a. I'm glad that Linus kind of said, now hang on a minute, that's the Pro, and the Pro is way more performant. So you're not just spending more money for the sake of it. Like, it's the highest cost console right now because it is the most performant console out there. I think this commonly happens in these discussions. It's like, if you really want to do comparison pound for pound, you can't go to the most expensive one that also doesn't even make up most of the sales of PlayStation. It's a fraction. The most commonly sold device for PlayStation right now is the PS5, the base, not the Pro.
Have a look. Let me have a look. So that is more equivalent to a 7700 XT. And then the base PS5 is about an RX 6700. So the base PS5 is closer to the Steam Machine in terms of performance. With that said, it's not like the Steam Machine, even if it's at $600 or $700, isn't going to have any justification for it.
The disk drive PS5 non-Pro is $550.
Does the Steam Machine have a disk drive?
No.
Okay, then.
Well, I don't think so. It has a lot of other stuff going on, though.
Yeah, I mean, compared to a PlayStation, yeah, you can use it as a computer, but I think a lot of people won't. And
the other thing too is people are going to associate power and price as like a coupled thing. You can't decouple those things. In PC world, in PC land, like, it's going to be very interesting how the PC audience responds to this, because historically speaking, price and power are not decoupled. They are coupled together. You know that when you buy the more expensive pre-built or you are building your own machine, you spend more money, you get more power. That's just the way that it works. And console users are not immune to this. They understand the same principle. The Series X was more performant than the Series S. The PS5 Pro is more performant than the base PS5. Like, it just makes sense to people that price and power cannot be decoupled. Now, form factor has to be considered. That's what Eugene is saying. That is fair. That is fair. But how often is that the consideration in PC land and console land? Like, did anybody look at the Series S and think that, well, its size is a factor in what I'm buying here because the PlayStation 5 is like a big, ugly Wi-Fi router from Sharper Image, and the Series S is like this chic little toaster on its side, right? Like, I don't think form factor is as strong as you're making it. I really don't. I think most people are going to say price and performance are coupled. And if I'm going to be paying $800 and the performance of the device is lower or right around the hemisphere of a 6-year-old console, I think that's going to be a tough sell for some folks. Not everybody, but I think some folks are going to jump off the train and be like, $800 for that level of performance? What are you talking about? And at that level, they could bump up to a pre-built, spend $1,000 or $1,200, Because once you're spending $800, it's easy to convince yourself to save and spend another couple $100 and get a more performant pre-build. So that form factor and convenience for the living room has got to be a huge selling factor for people to compel them to decouple power and price in their mind and buy something that they know is going to be less performant than the console. Now, something in its corner is something that Steam has talked about. A huge percentage of the people in Steam are playing on mid-level to low-level rigs, and the Steam machine is in that hemisphere of power, so they would view this as a lateral upgrade, like it's lateral, it's sort of equal to what they have now and they just throw it in their living room, or they could view it as a little bit of an upgrade. Like if they're on an older rig, a weaker gaming laptop or something that like they just got so they could play Among Us, during COVID, well, now they've got something that is a slight upgrade. And they might say, well, that's not bad for $700 or $800. Because if they're shopping for pre-builds, they're already in that hemisphere of price anyway. So that could also play a factor that so much of the Steam user base is not on monster rigs. And they might find this thing to be very compelling in that pricing at that price point.
And the fact that Valve is shipping this thing with a controller tells me that this is... and
a controller with touchpads on it.
And all but one demo that they had in their big demo room was it hooked up to a TV. Like it wasn't. They had the one where it was hooked up to a monitor.
Up to TVs for sure.
Right.
I still just think it's not completely equivalent.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not surprised it would be more expensive. I think it honestly makes sense that it would probably be more expensive.
There's not. Which one would be more expensive?
The Steam machine.
What is it adding?
It's a computer.
Sure.
This is a really good line of questioning that Linus is doing, because I think it's something that the consumer is going to ask, right? What is it adding, right? Not just what is it adding to my existing setup. What is it adding that a pre-built PC can't add to my experience? Oh, because his response, it's a computer and you can access the Steam. Yeah, you're right. I can do that right now with a pre-built, right? So technically speaking, it's not going to win in the power price coupling, right? You're going to have to decouple price from power in people's minds. And then additive, it's not additive. It's size and convenience. I think selling a PC for the living room is a really, really bold move, and it could pay out big for them. But I just wonder if consumers are going to look at it and think, yeah, that thing doesn't really make much sense to me, right? I think you're going to get a lot of people who are already kind of in the Steam ecosystem to buy this because they have that library and they love the idea of being able to play Vampire Survivors in their living room very conveniently. The question is, are they willing to pay for that convenience?
How much are you going to compute from your couch?
Excellent question.
I can definitely see people using it in that way, and I can see that being a value add for people and it being more expensive because of that.
I don't agree with him on that. I don't think lots of people are going to buy this and use it as a computer in their living room. I don't think so. I do not agree with him. I think the vast majority of people that purchase this thing are going to use it as a gaming machine in their living room. They're not going to be checking their browser and emails and stuff. They're just not. Why? He's got a laptop right in front of him that solves that problem. There are iPhones and tablets and Android phones that solve that problem in your pocket. You're not. Who's sitting on their couch and using let me pull up a browser and check emails. Come on. That I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
Sure.
I'm just saying I understand why the pricing might work that way. I'm not saying it's good.
When you were saying there's more to it, I thought you meant there's more hardware that I'm not accounting for that would make it the cost higher.
It's a different device.
Sure, yeah, it's a different device. But, for me, the question is, from a performance standpoint, the biggest justification for what I'm going to hook up to my TV, I'm not computing, I'm gaming. I'm gaming from my couch. So the biggest justification to me is that I can take advantage of Steam sales. I don't have to buy things in the PlayStation Store. If it's going to be more expensive, that's the more meaningful.
There are benefits to it being a compute device.
Before he talks about that, another thing that Linus could add there that I think is really on his side of things is there is an ocean of games that are only available in Steam. Like an ocean. I mean, there are thousands of indie and AA games you cannot get on console. That really adds to his argument. Yes, this is a gaming machine, and it does have that advantage over consoles. It has a much bigger library, and there are countless games. You will watch Future Game Show and other game shows every year where half the games announced are in Steam, or they go to Steam first. Like right now, if you want to play Moonlighter 2 in early access, which I did a day or two ago and had a great time with it. They have some performance issues they got to work on, but overall, very, very fun little game. If you want to play that right now, you can't. If you guys saw me play it and you thought, man, I'd love to play that right now, it's a fun little content loop. It's perfect for the PlayStation Portal. It's perfect. It's perfect for a Steam Deck. So yeah, I think that adds to his argument. Now he's going to go into details about here, like why he thinks this being a PC like gives it an advantage. And I don't think he's joking. Somebody said he's joking. You guys can decide. I don't think he's joking.
On your TV, for sure.
Sure.
I think saying no to that is crazy.
I mean, hit me. Like
you
what?
can pirate things.
Okay, but I can't watch like proper.
That is not, he's not joking. I do not think he is joking. It is my opinion that he is not joking when he says that. Like somebody that's familiar with these guys and their content told me, oh, that's what he does. He jokes. He's memeing. That did not come across like a meme, like at all. That did not that did not come across like a meme. I think he meant it. Like, yeah, you can pirate things. Like that's not a selling factor for this device. The average consumer that buys this is not going to be like, yeah, I'm all about piracy. Like, I don't think so. That's very unlikely.
HDR Netflix because it's Linux.
I mean, you could. It would be annoying, but you could.
You can? Is that supported now? Because I'm not aware of it.
You could virtual machine over if you cared.
HDR? With what streaming platform?
Sorry, what?
Like watching HDR? Like DRM protected HDR Netflix? No.
You can't do that through Windows if you boot Windows through anyways?
Sure, but then now you're buying a Windows license.
Oh, sure. You're pirating things, so you can't pirate the easiest thing to pirate?
I mean, at this point, you're basically...
That's why I don't think he was joking about the piracy. Right? I don't think he was joking. And again, I think we're talking to a very small percentage. Yeah, somebody brought up mods in the chat. You are certainly correct that that's a nice advantage because you're running Steam and you could run mods, right? Like you could get a game where you want the mod for whatever. Like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 probably is not the best example for this machine because it's not going to be high performant, but if you can tinker and lower settings and get it to run well, you could run that mod that lets you save anytime you want, which is excellent. I would play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 if I could install that mod on my PlayStation, right? So it's an interesting take to push again, and this is why these arguments kind of I get a little frustrated by these. So Linus makes a completely legitimate point that like, yeah, if you're going to do that, you would need to put Windows on it. And he's like, oh, but you could pirate that. It's like when I said that this device is not a threat to the Magnus, and I said something about the Nintendo Switch games or something, and people are like, oh, but you could emulate those games on it. It's like the average consumer is not doing that. That's not a comeback. That's not a retort. That's a very, very narrow group that's going to be willing to do that. Okay, so you got to buy it. You got to put Windows on it. And then you got to run whatever extra software is going to let you do all this stuff. Like, I don't think that is a response to anything Linus is saying. It's like a complete dodge of the issue. It's like, instead of acknowledging that, like, that's a legitimate potential criticism or complaint from the consumer, you're like, well, the solution is this very niche thing that a portion of the internet knows how to do. Is that portion of the internet going to be buying an $800 machine that's weaker than a PlayStation 5? Like, I just don't know. That doesn't seem to be like the kind of consumer that would find this thing very attractive at all.
Making the argument of like just going in, like you're taking this. We're talking about a console right now. I mean, at the point of what
we're not. That's my point.
At the point of what you're talking about, go build a PC and then just hide it behind your media console.
I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah.
Well, right, but that's not what we're talking about.
Except that's what they're selling.
Sort of.
Actually.
Were you there?
No.
I'm on Linus's side in this debate 100%. It is a PC, but they are selling a console. You understand? It's like when Steve Jobs said, don't tell people that the iPod's got 100 gig. Tell them it's 1,000 songs in their pocket, right? Yes, it's a PC. At the technical level, you are 100% right to call it a PC. Even Valve's calling it a PC. But what they're selling you functionally is a console. That's what they're selling you. And I 100% side with Linus on this one.
Okay, so that's not really the messaging.
Okay,
It's part of it.
your video projects that it's not a console. It's specifically not a console.
It's not a console, but what it is it is designed for a very console-like experience.
Totally, and it will do that and more stuff, which is my point.
I'm actually having a hard time kind of following along here. But basically where we started was I went, hey, I don't really think that there's a lot here that would justify 4 years later why this thing would be priced like a 4-year-old PlayStation 5.
That's exactly
right.
And,
you know,
that's exactly
if you
the
kind of
question.
go like, yeah, there's more utility in it being open. It's like, yeah, but you know, at that point, yeah, you could just like build a PC and you flash a SteamOS image on it. Like it's...
Yeah, and they said it will be very competitively priced with PCs. So you could do that, or you could buy this thing. You could do either one.
Yeah, if we...
Again, the really, really dialed in consumer that knows about all the stuff that he's saying, the other guy on the other side, the guy that's not Linus, what he's saying is you're describing like really, really dialed in consumers. People like you, people that are like you that know all these things. Okay, you got to ask the question, is that type of consumer going to want to spend $700 or $800 on a box they can't upgrade in the future outside of hard drive space and RAM? All right, that this device is a closed system, basically. It's a closed system. You can't upgrade it. And it's already behind the 8 ball when it hits the market. It's slightly weaker than a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. Like, it's basically in their hemisphere of price. At that point, they're 6-year-old consoles. Like, Linus is saying 5 or 4. They're not 4 and 5-year-old consoles next year. They're 6-year-old consoles next year. The pre-built you showed us is more powerful than the box 2. Right, you can buy a pre-built for $750 right now from Best Buy that's stronger, according to what Omar is saying. So again, it seems like such a conundrum for the device because like if you're super dialed in and you're super tuned in and you know how to emulate and pirate and do all this modding and tinkering, this device doesn't seem like you'll be able to do much with it. And would that appeal to you then? Wouldn't you just do what Linus said? Just build your own system at that point. You're going to save money and then you can do everything you want to it and upgrade it in the future. Like... That's why I said, if you try to decouple power from price, you got to sell this on something else. And the guy on the right side of the screen, the guy in the black shirt, he's trying to sell it on like PC functionality at the deep level. And it's like, but the people that understand PC functionality at a deep level, are they going to want to buy this thing? And if they do, aren't they going to then feel like they bought something that's very limiting? Like, think about what we're saying. You're describing a consumer that is probably very, very hesitant to buy a console. Why? They can't tinker, they can't emulate, they can't pirate, they can't do all those things. This device will let you do that sort of, and it'll be kind of outdated the minute that it hits the field. The minute that it hits the market, it's behind. So that's what I'm saying is like I don't even think it's going to appeal to people like that. It's going to appeal to people who have like mid-level rigs. The guy on the right, his name is Luke. Okay, so no disrespect, I think he's describing a consumer that's not going to find this thing very appealing. I think the people that are going to find this appealing are playing on gaming laptops, mid-level and low-level PCs, and they're going to view this as a lateral or slight upgrade for themselves, and they love the convenience of having it in their living room. I think he's describing use cases and consumer examples that this thing just won't appeal to in great number. I think it's going to appeal to a completely different subset of the PC audience that doesn't do any of the stuff that he's talking about. Because if they do those types of things, they're probably going to have better performant rigs, I would assume. I think those two things kind of go hand in hand.
There's a value to a very significant portion of the population to a more seamless console experience. And what you're describing is not that. That
Sure.
is
Exactly.
That's like the
You can do
DIY
both.
PC thing. Right. But if I can...
Linus just said exactly what I was saying. Like, the appeal of this thing is not what you're talking about. You're talking about DIY, emulation, hack, pirate, blah, blah, blah. This device is not... That's not the value prop of the Steam machine. The value prop of the Steam machine is convenience in your living room. Like, that's what its value prop is, which is going to make the price point of sticking point for some folks. Because $800 for that, I don't know. I don't know if everybody's going to agree that that's a worthy price for convenience.
Do both, then like if I have that level of knowledge, I don't actually need Valve to bring this to me. I could have done that already. I could do that today. So that's kind of where I'm getting a little bit
Is the boot
confused
with
here.
your home theater system thing something that's easily done by end users?
On a DIY PC?
Yeah.
So this is cool. Someone flagged for me. Apparently there's a USB dongle that can add CEC to any off-the-shelf computer. I have not validated this, but that's on my list of stuff.
I've never heard of that personally.
I've never heard of that. It's on my list. It got a few upvotes. So that's on my list of stuff to validate for the full review of the Steam Machine, because that's a really important sort of...
That sounds cool.
Yeah, that's a really important element of, if you were trying to build the exact same functionality on your own, you know, what would you have to do? And
it should be a video. You should try to beat.
Course.
You should try to beat. You should install SteamOS on it. Cool. Sounds good.
Yes, of course.
I like that he just like inadvertently exposed their content plans. Like, of course Linus is going to do that. The way he looked at the camera was golden.
But that has to be part of the calculation, right? And you got to go buy a good controller. Like, you can't just, you know, buy the cheapest controller and say, "Oh, well, I have a controller, therefore I am feature equivalent."
You could just buy a Steam controller.
You mean the old one?
Can you not buy the new one?
Well, not yet. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it first.
Got it. Okay.
So basically the title's gonna be "I couldn't wait, so I built my own Steam machine." I'm gonna use the old chassis.
Do you wait until the pricing comes out and then try to match the pricing, or are you just going to look at the specs and see what price you can make it for, and then kind of beat them to the pricing conversation? That'd be really interesting.
I don't know, because I think there's multiple ways that we can tackle it. The one that I build for myself is actually going to be more powerful. I'm a little disappointed in the specs, to be just completely
I think
blunt.
that's pretty fair.
A PlayStation 5 today for more than like $500, $600, I'm not excited. It's okay, but it's not exciting to me.
To me, the exciting part is just SteamOS on more pieces of hardware.
That I agree with Luke on. I actually think that's the big win, is getting SteamOS in front of more people, especially if it's stripped down and better than Windows, which it is. So, I agree with him on that. But the thing that Linus said that I think is really sticking out here is he's like, I'm not excited. So that's the question. Will there be inertia and velocity behind this thing? Like, will the market say, this thing's awesome? Like, what's going to be the killer selling point of this device? If it is mainly the convenience and the size, I'm going to be real with y'all. I think that's a harder thing to sell people on, because whether it's a television or a console or a PC or a handheld gaming device, we couple power with price. That's what we do. That's how we think. Bigger, better, faster car, bigger, better, faster PC, bigger, better TV. Like, that's how we think in the realm of technology. We couple power with price. Even like, if you go buy an iPhone right now and the more expensive one, what do you ask? Is it more conveniently sized? No, it's bigger and has better stuff, faster stuff, better camera. Anything you shop for in the tech realm, that's how things are priced. It's really, really unusual to go buy something at the tech level and have them selling you on the form factor, the size, the convenience. It's like, no, power and price is how we couple things in our brains. Like, you can say that power and price isn't important, Eugene. I'm simply explaining that in the mind of the consumer, we have been trained to couple those things together. You can see two televisions side by side. They're the same size. One's more expensive. You're going to ask why. You're going to want to know what's in the guts, what's in the features, what's this thing do that the other one doesn't. And when you go to the store and you see a Steam machine for $700 or $800 and you see a PlayStation for $500 or $600, you're going to want to know why is this thing more expensive? Oh, well, it's a PC that you can put in your entertainment center. And if you have the pre-built sitting right there, sure, that's a decent selling point. So Apple sells everything based on form factor, convenience, and lifestyle? No. You're talking about marketing. You're not talking about price differences. No. You're talking about overall marketing. How they package their devices is lifestyle and form factor. But when I go to the store, when I'm standing in Apple and they've got 3 iPhones side by side and their prices go up incrementally, I don't say, oh, is this one more expensive because it's more conveniently sized? No, I'm like, why is it more expensive? And it's more expensive because the camera's better, the processor's better, the screen is better. Like, it is technically better. That's what people are going to do. They're going to look at these devices and say, why is that thing more expensive? And if your response is, well, it's more conveniently sized for your living room, I don't think many people are going to find that compelling. I'm going to spend the next... Flip it all the way around. Go buy a PlayStation right now. It's not conveniently sized. It isn't. It's gaudy and tall, and it's kind of ugly. Most tech devices in your entertainment center are black and square and rectangular, and the PlayStation's this big, dumb, ugly Wi-Fi router, and it's white. And nobody balked at buying it because of what it looked like. So I don't know if people are going to be compelled to spend more money on something because it's conveniently sized, because that's not how we purchased consoles up to now. We bought consoles the last 5 years that, I mean, yes, I think the Series X is very nicely shaped as well as the Series S, but the PS5 is not. And that hasn't made a factor in selling it at all. It hasn't.
That are being sold to people.
Yeah, and that's cool. And, you know, I'm still, 4 years later, very excited for SteamOS to become a more mainstream thing that's easier to install on a wide range of hardware and all that stuff. But in terms of like what I need in my life, if it doesn't come with aggressive pricing, and it was a little surprising to me that it wasn't going to be priced like a console, because the Steam Deck pretty much was and still is. You look at it compared to, the Ioneos and the ROG allies of the world, and they are undercutting them significantly. But Valve made the strategic decision in this case not to do custom silicon that would yield them a large savings over a very large volume product, which tells me, a couple of things. One is that they don't necessarily know if this is going to be a high volume product. Or it tells me that they don't even want to interfere with the ecosystem, which, was part of the conversation that we had, even though they couldn't give me like firm reasons around everything.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, they've had much stronger partnerships with especially PlayStation, but also Xbox recently. So maybe they're like kind of semi-joining the space, but trying to do it in a fairly friendly way.
And that would be true to the original vision for Steam Machine. Like, if you recall, Steam Machine, the one that I have, the prototype,
Wide Boy
one, that was not a real product. They launched with partners like Alienware.
You could make it in that box.
Of course I am. Come on, man. Come on, man.
By the way,
he keeps blowing up their future content plans. Not blowing up, but like exposing them. By the way, I really like their microphones. I know that's like the other popular podcasting microphone out there. They sound very, very good. Like, both of them, like their voices, like the production value here is very, very good. I love their studio space. I'm a little jealous of it.
I just looked this up. I don't know if it's the same one.
Okay, so that's basically the end of the segment. So overall, I think that this device is going to come down to price because, and the reason it's going to come down to price is because the value proposition is no longer, power and price coupled together. The value proposition is form factor and convenience. And in the technological world, TVs, consoles, iPhones, tablets, we go to the store and we see something that's more expensive, and the assumption is more performant, more powerful, better. That's the assumption baked into the mind of the consumer. I don't think consumers are going to be like, oh, well, it's not as performant or it's not any stronger than the PlayStation, but it's cute and small. Because the PlayStation's form factor didn't hurt its sales at all. And if that people cared about that, come on. It would have affected the PlayStation sales significantly because it is ugly and it doesn't really fit anywhere in a good way. So if you guys enjoyed this segment, support the original video. We'll have it linked below. And, remember to hit like and subscribe on my channel as well. So that is that's segment 1 there. We'll timestamp that. That may end up getting re-uploaded later. I didn't hit record, but, Creature can pull it out of the VOD. because there's a lot of people who aren't here right now. You know, there's only about 300 of you here. Another 300 or so will watch this later. So there's 50-something thousand people sub to this channel that won't find that segment. So we may upload that later. If you guys watch that later and support it later, I appreciate you and love you, because I'm going to be out of town next week. So it'll be a way for us to have content for the channel when I'm gone. And just a great way to give you guys, entertainment segments right here. So thank you for the 100 bits Wired Rope. He says, this is why the Ally X wasn't an Xbox. It's the Electro Voice AT20. Yeah, it's a nice pod. I don't think I would ever switch. I think that the microphones they were using, they have like a crisp sound, and I would describe the Shure SM7B as having a warmer sound, and I like having a warmer sound to my voice. Their voices, I think, work, especially Linus's, because Linus has more of like a high, like thin. His voice is more high, like in thin in quality, and to give it a crisp sound, I think complements his voice better than a microphone that's going to tend towards warmth. So you don't have to be so close to those. Yeah, you don't have to be as close. They have more of the shotgun design. They're better at farther away. Yeah. If I hadn't purchased a console off of Look, I would be an Xbox main. Oh, if you had purchased off of Looks, yeah, for real. It's fine. Just put an overlay. It's fine, creature. We have to stop worrying about those things. They don't matter. Jiminy. If the member goal is in a segment or a highlight, it doesn't matter. Everybody that runs highlights, their overlays are there. How many Astacross videos have I watched? And like all his stuff is right there on the screen. Like, come on, it doesn't matter. The video I posted in Discord, the guy has built a very close equivalent to the Steam machine. Oh, yeah. Let me see this. Let me see this video here. 1340, you said. All right, we're going to go to the 1340 mark. All right. So this guy, the Fox, he built... Oh, my extension's working again. Okay, so Wired Rope is saying we should watch this. Let's see what he says.
So that people can use that generally on this, and the ray tracing implications of what's going to be available on this. I do want to talk about price, and there are going to be two different models. There's a 512 gig model and a 2 terabyte model. But ultimately what I want to address here is the lengths that I went to try to match these configurations as much as possible. Obviously, mine is going to be slightly more powerful, so we do have to kind of tone it down a little bit. But generally speaking, we should be very close as a close approximate of what you can expect from the Steam machine. So I think let's just go straight into some of the game demos now. This is God of War Ragnarok on my makeshift Steam machine. You can see that the output resolution is 4K. So what we're going to try to achieve here is what Valve said of 4K 60 with the FSR. I'm going to use Intel XeSS with the Ultra Performance preset. I'm going to go back to low real quick, just because typically if I want to secure 4K 60, I kind of need to use these settings. So right now I am in Odin's Raven area, and the reason that I'm here is because I can't die. So you can see my health is pretty much super low. And this is the training area, so I can just get kicked forever, and I don't really have to worry about it so much. But I'll go ahead and show you some different things. Now, ramping is that you do have to make note of it, that hopefully I not get hit with ending the special frost sauce, because that's going to slow me down. Not going to be representative of frame rate. It's not the game slowing it down, it's just my character. I have an effect to go slower. This is Space Marines 2. We're once again going to try for that 4K output resolution. I really have to use the Ultra Performance preset. We are using FSR, so 4K 60 FSR is what we're going to try to do. I have frame generation off. Everything else is set to as low as possible. And even still, we're not going to be able to hit 60 FPS here. We kind of fluctuate around 50. There's a ton of stuff that happens in this game. For what it's worth,
Space Marine 2, I couldn't play it on the base PS5. There were too many frame rate issues, but I played it on the Pro, and I felt like it ran smooth as butter. And then I played the entire game co-op with my wife and had a really good time with it. So I would not expect this thing to be able to do a great job with this game. There's just a lot going on in Space Marine 2.
Like, I actually really like this particular game engine. What they accomplish, especially with all of the stuff that goes on, all of the enemies that can fill a screen at any given time, it really is quite impressive.
The swarm engine is awesome. They do really cool stuff with it.
To behold, and like how smooth the frame rate is, and how consistent it stays. I don't know. I'm a big fan of this. I really have to actually play this game to completion. I already got into like the second level, and then I'm just testing other stuff all the time. But you can see that basically, more or less, we're always around 50-ish FPS. And more to the point, like when we look.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point to make, that it will run better on Steam OS than Windows. I don't know if what he's running this on. Like, did he say Wired Rope? Is he running these games on Windows, or did he do his best? Like, is this an actual like essentially like an emulation of what the Steam machine will be? I don't know how much Steam OS is going to boost performance. I think it will certainly help, but I don't think it's going to be like night and day.
At the output resolution, right? With FSR at 4K with ultra performance, the resultant image quality is fine.
He's on Windows? Okay.
Like if we were to go to, just like, humor me for a second, right? If we were to go to 4K, 1440p, we get, closer to 60, but look at how terrible it looks. The resultant image quality is such a downgrade.
Yeah, it's almost like it's blurry. It's like the camera's out of focus or something.
Just to secure that 10 extra FPS, like to get a more consistent 60 FPS, this just looks atrocious. I wouldn't look at, I don't want to look at this at all. Obviously, frame gen is off, and you could, think
I don't
about
want to look at this
doing
at all,
that.
he
So if
said.
we went to borderless here, and if we did frame gen here, is this okay? 80-ish FPS with frame gen on? I probably just suggest just going to, just having frame gen off and just being on complete. This is Spider-Man Miles Morales. We'll start off by doing a 4K output resolution. I am using AMD FSR 3 here. I'm going to be using Ultra Performance, so it's an extreme sub-resolution of 4K. The preset is low, and generally speaking, especially for somewhat modern games, this is pretty new. God of War Ragnarok is pretty new. All of those have the capability of kind of doing 4K 60. You can see that take a look at the frame time graph. You can see that we're fluctuating all over the place. But generally speaking, if you want to be 4K 60, if I just have this, we're going to see the FPS will skyrocket to like 128, which is kind of, not really true when we're traversing the entire world here, and we'll go down to about 60. Now, it'll fluctuate down to 40, and I'll take a look at some other settings, but more to the point, and like how God of War Ragnarok was, as soon as we put in the high settings at 4K, you're going to see that go down.
SteamOS will boost single-digit FPS at best, but this is a PC, so it's made more suited for high FPS gaming with low settings on comparatively like a PS5, which is made for high fidelity. Yeah, I don't know if he's on Windows or Steam. There's a disagreement in chat on whether or not he's on SteamOS or on Windows.
It does open up a question of how Valve plans to navigate the 8GB VRAM limit.
I think his showcase of God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man is just really indicative of how people are really overstating how much of a threat this will be to PlayStation. Like, PlayStation's games, according to Herman Holst, are literally designed to show off their hardware. And so, like, current and future hardware, you're going to consistently see that as the goal. Spider-Man 3 or Intergalactic or any of these titles are going to look just so incredible on PlayStation and run so well on PlayStation. The first party quality this gen has been undeniably great. Whether you go all the way back to Ratchet, then Returnal, then Horizon, Gran Turismo 7, and God of War, to even some of their deals with something like a Stellar Blade. Like, that's not theirs. That was that was obviously a deal. And then this year, Ghosts of Yotei and Death Stranding 2. Like, they're undeniably great in what they look like and how they're lauded and praised. And then you watch him play Ragnarok and Spider-Man. This is not a threat to PlayStation's business goals at all. Like, I don't agree with that. I think that's largely overstated by people who just don't like PlayStation. It doesn't feel like a genuine position. Because anybody that looks at this and thinks that, like, oh yeah, this is a threat to PlayStation. No,
not really too sure.
It's a nice, convenient option for people to play PC games in their living room. No one's going to buy this and be boasting about how great Spider-Man and Ragnarok look compared to like a PS5 Pro, especially if you're in the same pricing threshold. If a PS5 Pro is around $700 and this thing's around $700, I mean, come on. If you bought a PC and I bought a PC for the same amount of money, and the performance was that different, if your games look like this and my games look like how Spider-Man looks like on the Pro, one of us would feel like we got taken for a ride, and it wouldn't be the person with the better performant machine.
But generally speaking, as a 4K output resolution, but using extreme upscaling, technically it's true because they did say 4K 60 with FSR. So I do have FSR 3 here, and it's just the ultra performance preset to be able to achieve this. This is Starfield. We're once again going to try for a 4K output resolution. The render resolution is 50% of that. It is using FSR 3. Everything is pretty much set as low as it can. Frame gen is off. Right now we're going to be doing some like flying outside to get an idea of this. I'm going to stop by Aquila City, which is pretty much known to be pretty brutal. We'll see what it's capable of doing. But we're hitting around 40 FPS. This is going to be something that would be far better to just like lock to 30 overall.
Yikes.
Looks fine. Looks just fine, but I guess we'll see what happens when I go to Aquila City. All right, here we are. So let's go ahead and try to walk around the city. We're still hitting around 40-ish FPS. I would wager that this is just going to be just far better, just capping at 30. See if we can keep it above 30. Oh, there we go.
Yikes.
20 for a hot second. Hold it.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, I've seen enough. I don't, listen, the Steam OS and, games optimized for it will certainly help with things like this, but that's already an indication of what I've been saying about this device. This device is going to be for AA and indie titles in your living room. Like, that's going to be the goal. The goal is going to be, put it in your living room so you can play those titles. And I think that's totally fine. If you buy this Steam machine because you want to play Spider-Man, Ragnarok, Starfield, whatever the frick, no, that's you're going to be fine if you're accustomed to that type of performance and turning settings down and stuff. But yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing that being the primary driver for the machine. You would be surprised by the amount of mental hoops that people will jump through to be able to say that they don't need a PS5, according to Twitter. And here's the thing that you got to start to learn about a lot of what is said on Twitter. A lot of what is said on Twitter is designed around engagement. It's not designed around authenticity. So, like, if you say something like that on Twitter, you will get engagement, right? It doesn't, and you'll get corrected. And you're perfectly fine with that. Like, they will say something that they know is not at all authentic to their view, and not like, it's like they're it's manufactured to get a response. It's not coming from a true place. So I think that's what people need to remember, is that the meta of rage bait. The meta of rage bait is here, boys. It's here. So I just don't think you should take a lot of that stuff seriously anymore. I would just ignore it and just go to places where you can have conversations with real people, authentic people, not people that are essentially NPCs designed to, everything they say is designed to get response and to get engagement. I mean, it's why, if I engage on that platform now, it's so minimally. It's so minimally. It's not designed, the platform itself is just not designed for conversation authenticity or any of that. So I get the same level of performance on the ROG Ally running Steam OS with no frame gen as he did on that. Something isn't right there. I mean, I don't know. He seemed to know what he was doing, so could be an issue in particular with the games that he tried, but he tried a lot of games, and I don't know. We got other things to talk about, though. I did want to talk about Yotei. And this will be a slightly shorter segment, but a good segment nonetheless. Let me get the other image that I want here. Okay. All right, I'll turn the stuff off. I'll turn the stuff off. I can't see Twitch right now, by the way, for these segments. All right, I'll record this one just so that I have it. So there's been a lot of conversation about Ghost of Yotei and whether or not it was a flop, whether or not it was a success. And now the numbers are in. And coincidentally, the same week that the sales numbers came out for October, we also had the Golden Joystick Award. So we're going to look at some of the results of that and just sort of speak to a lot of the conversations happening right now about exclusives being antiquated, or, you know, Ghost of Yotei being a failure or a flop or not selling very well. A lot of these notions, I think, are completely destroyed by the facts. You can have your opinion about a game. I don't like it. I don't want to play it. I thought the story was boring. That's all fine. We're dealing in facts, which is, I think, a pretty good refutation of a lot of the claims about this game leading up to its release. And then after its release, when it was clearly doing well and people were trying to run with the false notion and the false story, that it wasn't. So if you like this kind of content, remember to hit like and subscribe. So what you're looking at here is October 2025. These are the top 20 best-selling games, physical and full game digital, from Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC platforms. This is ranked based on dollar sales. Now, people were zeroing in on this, like ranked on dollar sales, like that means something. No, that's how they rank them. Like, the most important part right here is best-selling games, okay? So you can see in the first and second position, we have Battlefield 6 and Pokemon. And right beneath these two gigantic titles, like Battlefield 6 is a multi-plat. It was highly anticipated. It's been selling very, very well. And Pokemon is Pokemon, okay? It's only on Nintendo, but still, it's Pokemon. Right beneath that is Ghost of Yotei. So the third best-selling game for the month of October. And I mean, look at what it's above. It's above sports titles. Like, these titles were in second, third, and fifth last month. These are multi-plat leviathans, and a single platform exclusive is ranked higher than them in its launch month. Okay, this is undeniable, and it gets better. There's a purple chart that talks about the year 2025 year to date, the top 20 games in the US. This is, again, physical, full game, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, ranked on dollar sales. Okay, so this is for the entire year. And you're going to notice something. In the top 10 position, like when it first came out, right, it was like, okay, it was like 18th or whatever, like last month, you know, when they only pulled like a little bit. No, now they got a full month, and it's in 10th place, okay? This is for the entire year. Yotei was out for 1 month on one platform, and it's the 10th most sold game this year in the US, okay? This again, I think, completely refutes the notion that exclusives are antiquated, or you're not going to sell as well when you're an exclusive, or exclusives are going away. This is completely unfounded. It's completely unfounded. And I think you're going to continue to see that as exclusives come out and continue to do what they've always done. Sell well and convince people to buy the hardware. That's their goal. That's their method. That's what Nintendo does. That's what PlayStation does. Even if and when Yotei goes to PC, this right here, one platform results after 1 month, is a complete repudiation of that entire argument that people are putting out there, as well as the people who were trying to claim this game was a flop. There are so few games that after being out for only a month can get into the top 20 on sales, let alone the top 10. There's one more thing we want to look at just to stick the knife a little deeper, and it is this image here. During the Golden Joystick Awards, which is a fan-voted event, okay, the fans voted here. You can't claim some sort of industry bias or some sort of an agenda here. The fans voted Ghost of Yotei as the console game of the year. Now, yes, Expedition 33 was not in this category. It was also not in the PC category. Expedition 33 was in the Ultimate Game of the Year category. I think the Golden Joysticks wanted more games a chance, you know, to win, because Expedition 33 basically won every category that it was in. Audio design actually went to Yotei, which I thought was pretty good for them. I thought that was pretty impressive that the fans voted in that way. But here it is, I think, the crown jewel of the year to cement Yotei as a roaring success is that it's topping sales charts after just 1 month, And it got voted by the fans as the game of the year. So, did Ghost of Yotei flop? No, but the agenda against it and all the nonsense certainly did flop. And if you like this video and you like live debates and discussions, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so I can see you in the next one. Yotei was snubbed? What do you mean Yotei was snubbed? In what capacity? Yotei... Oh, you mean by the Game Awards themselves? Well, I mean, the outlets, it was a competitive year, man. You have to consider something. Yotei won because Expedition 33 wasn't in the category. Like, Keighley would have to do that to his events to make space for more games. You got 6 games that can be nominated. 6. Right? You got 6 games that can claim the category. So obviously, a game like Yotei might slip because you got Hades 2 and Silksong completely changed the calendar year. They did. Yotei doesn't have to go against Hades 2 in console game of the year at Golden Joysticks, but it's got to go against Hades 2 in the game of the year for, the Game Awards because there's one category. The one category really, really bottlenecks it. It's like there's only so many games that can get up there. So I don't think Yotei was snubbed at all in the Game Awards. I think it's an incredibly highly competitive year. Hilly says, Twitch W today smashed the granny out of YouTube. Oh yeah, let's get the goal back up. Yeah, as it stands right now, it looks like Friday night's not going to happen. There's still a lot of show left. I was going to do a longer show today, hang out with y'all and do some more stuff. I've got more segments planned. I've got more things to talk about. More things to break down. And so we've done 2 segments already. We did Yotei, and we are going to do something about Destiny now. We are going to do something about Destiny. Because they looking desperate out here, boys. They looking desperate. Looking a little desperate. Here, I'm going to drag Twitch over here. So in case you do something. Hilly's trying to summon the 50 bomb. He's spamming farty bomb. Right? Okay. And a 10 bomb comes in from Siege Master. He's trying to stoke the fires. We're now 10 away from the next milestone. Whoever hits it gets it. Whoever makes that hit 275, I will owe you guys a member. I'm just looking at this Bungie survey article and kind of deciding, do I want to read the whole thing? Yeah, I think we could read the whole thing. This could be a pretty good video. So a D2 autopsy? No. Hilly says not enough YouTube. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, if you guys haven't hit the like button yet, do me a favor and hit that. Try to get us to 200 likes. And let's do this segment on Destiny. Is Destiny 2 dead or just desperate? Well, looking a little desperate in light of a recent report that I want to look at with you guys. They are considering adding Sparrow Racing League, unvaulted campaigns, NPC sidekicks, new subclass abilities, new gambit mode, and more. There's a survey that revealed this, and that's a mouthful. That's a lot of stuff. But it really kind of smacks of desperation. I already did a video saying that they should die with dignity. With the Star Wars thing, I think is a bad look. You might disagree with me. That's fine. You can check out that video if you want to see my opinion on that. This is in a similar lane. It's just starting to feel a little desperate out here for Destiny. So we're going to take a look at this article here from the Game Post. And you can see here, I already read this part. They're considering adding all these things. So let's take a look. A new survey shows that Destiny 2 is considering adding Sparrow Racing League, unvaulted campaigns, NPC sidekicks, new PvP and gambit modes, and much more. If you're unfamiliar with Sparrow Racing League, the Sparrow Racing League was something that people always sort of asked, to come back. People wanted it to be a permanent fixture in the game, and Bungie always said no. So the fact that they're considering bringing it back, I think, does feel a little desperate. It's like, well, we're going to try to stoke the fires of engagement and get people to come back, because Destiny is at one of the lowest points it's probably ever been in the history of the game's existence. Destiny 2 is in a weird spot right now. The Edge of Fate expansion kicked off the new Fate saga with huge system changes. The portal became the main activity hub. Armor 3.0 built stats and set bonuses, and everyone's power was reset to 10 with a new cap of 200. All right. In practice, a lot of it landed badly. Edge of Fate struggled to hit 100,000 concurrent players on Steam at launch, far below the 300,000 plus peaks of the past expansions like Lightfall and the Final Shape. Now, many people will push back on this and say, oh, not even touching the previous peaks, like barely getting over 100,000 on Steam. Most of the people play on PlayStation and console. Listen, Steam is a pretty big platform, and previous engagement and previous expansions, getting over 300,000 player peaks on Steam is a barometer of player engagement and player interest. And the fact that it dropped that much is worrisome for Bungie. Since then, the player numbers have kept falling. Destiny 2's average Steam player count over the last 30 days dropped to just over 13,000, the lowest since the game arrived on the platform in 2019. Again, many will point to, console being the larger and, basically trying to claim that this is bogus or whatever. Like, I still think Steam is a barometer of interest. Bungie's already walked back some of its biggest decisions made in Edge of Fate, including a plan to reset seasonal bonus power with Renegades after feedback from the community. Now it looks like Bungie is asking players what kinds of features they might actually want to get excited to log in again. Here's the thing. I'm not going to fault them for doing a survey like this. They're clearly misfiring, which is interesting that they're misfiring this poorly after all these years. Like, how out of touch can you be with your consumer base after you've engaged with them for 11 years? Like, many people might look at this and say, this really disqualifies Bungie from being experts in live service, right? They did such a good job for such a long time. They maintained a live service game for over a decade, which is impressive. But now we're talking about, they make changes that they seemingly don't even understand what the community wants, and now they're, pumping out surveys. The Game Post has obtained a closed invite-only survey Bungie sent to the select Destiny 2 players earlier this week. The email says it is a one-time survey per account and offers 500 silver in-game reward within 4 weeks of completion as a thank you. So they are offering you an incentive to take the survey. So it's probably not a short survey. Typically, when you're motivated to take a survey with money, it's because it's not going to be like 2 seconds. It's going to be, a bit of an endeavor. So inside the survey, Bungie asks a long list of potential features to be added to Destiny 2 and asks players to rank them. Some of the options are smaller quality of life ideas. Others would fundamentally change how Destiny 2 works. Let's break down what they asked about. So, new abilities, power proceding, portal changes. Okay, this is the question. Please rank the following potential features to be added to Destiny 2 in terms of their potential to improve your enjoyment of the game. So, new stasis and strand abilities. Gear tier enhancement, so you could upgrade the tier of a weapon. New simplified portal scoring system. New void melee abilities. Power proceding, so you'd be the ability to reset power back to 10. Fans have been asking for new strand and stasis abilities for years, so it's clear why Bungie wants to know if players still want those subclass options. The power proceding option is especially interesting after players already had their power reset to 10 with Edge of Fate, and after months of complaints about how seasonal power and portal grind feel, Bungie is still at least considering an opt-in reset that would come with extra rewards or prestige visuals. Excuse me. So, the thing here with this is sometimes I think it's just too little too late. A lot of the stuff people were asking for in the past, well, they're not going to care now if they've disengaged with your game for an extended period of time. So some of this might be too little, too late. So another question comes in about raids, dungeons, events, core playlists. The exact wording is similar to the first ranking question. It's asking players to list a potential feature, like what would they come back for, right? Sparrow Racing League event or playlist. Raid night, a day of the week where players can play the featured raid for extra rewards. A new Gambit mode or Gambit event. I'm already going to tell you right now that if you do this right here, a day of the week where players can play the featured raid for extra rewards, this is a dangerous precedent to set where like nobody's going to engage with the raid except for that night. What you should do is give every player the option to use like a weekly boon that boosts the rewards so they can run the raid whenever they want, and that just resets every week. Look, Bungie, I've not played your game in 4 years, and within 30 seconds, I think I've already made that idea better. Don't do that. Give people a boon they can use once a week. That does promote engagement. It promotes at least one raid run a week. Actually, you could give them a boon per character, and then you can get at least 3, raids a week out of somebody. because they're going to want to come and use that boon. If you set it for a specific time, you're going to manipulate engagement in an unhealthy way. They should know better. New difficulty tiers for legacy raids and dungeons. Raid rotator. Legacy raids that are included in the weekly raid rotation. This is great. They did that during Age of Triumph, and it was very, very popular. Added old campaigns and other activities to the portal. Rotating portal activities each week. Daily, weekly competitive PvE event. New PvP moves. Like, listen, if you're going to bring back old campaigns and other activities to the portal, there has to be a loot incentive. Like, that could be, like, you could call it like a memory incentive or like an archive incentive. You go back and you do like the old stuff, and there's a reason to do it. So the nostalgia bait for Sparrow Racing League is obviously there. We don't need to read everything that they're saying. Let's go to the next part of the survey. So they ask about clan upgrades, trophy room, unvaulted campaigns, NPC sidekicks. So one of the biggest blocks in the survey is another ranking list of potential features to be added. So unvaulted expansion campaigns such as Red War and Forsaken. I am shocked that they put this in the survey. Okay, you just settled with the guy out of court that you basically allegedly stole elements of Red War from. It's always been a bit of a sticking point with the community that these campaigns were taken away. And now you're like, hey, would you like us to bring those back? I absolutely think this is so interesting that they even put this in the survey. It's like taking a kid's toy away and then asking them later, like, would you like me to give the toy back? They're going to scream yes. New clan upgrades and progression system, in-game trophy room, NPC sidekicks. I'm going to tell you what this is right here. This is window dressing that nobody cares about at this point. Like, that ship has sailed. The game has been around for so long, nobody's coming back for window dressing. More replayable story-rich side quests and NPCs, more random encounters with random players while adventuring, new vault with increased space, new onboarding experience. Again, this doesn't matter to your existing player base. Onboarding for returning, sure, but if they've taken a big of a break, that's not going to convince them to come back. An in-game Destiny 2 information glossary, in-game tutorial library. This is just more window dressing that is probably not worth doing any development time at all, right? So, like, why in the world would you do that? They also have questions that compare Destiny 2 and Destiny Rising. Okay, 2 questions in the survey pull Destiny Rising into the picture. Okay, so what does Destiny Rising do better than Destiny 2 in your opinion? If you don't know enough to answer, please enter NA. This is really interesting because they must be seeing engagement patterns in Destiny Rising that they're like, hey, maybe we should pull some things from that. They're probably seeing players that have played Destiny going over to Rising and logging hours, and they're like, hey, there's got to be something over there that's maybe more magnetic. What features from Destiny Rising, if any, would you be interested in seeing added to Destiny 2? If you don't know enough to answer, please put NA. So right here, what they're conceding at the bare minimum is that they're aware of pockets of their player base that are playing Destiny Rising instead of Destiny 2. So I would argue that again is another interesting thing to ask people about. So the rest of this is talking about the stuff that I already mentioned, like the Red War lawsuit and the roadmap and blah blah blah. Listen, at this point, I think again, the question's not whether or not Destiny is dead. It is dying. I think it's in the process of dying, which is fine. It had a good run. I'm going to continue to say that the best course of action going forward is you enter into an agreement with PlayStation to build the game, stop being financially dependent on Destiny 2 so you can actually put your heads down and work on, Destiny for 5 years and only Destiny for 5 years and build an amazing Destiny 3, right? And listen, if people don't want to work on it, let them leave. Let them go work at one of your other PlayStation studios. And maybe people at the other PlayStation studios, maybe they want to come and they want to work on it. I think that would be completely legitimate and fair. Bungie's future is interwoven with Destiny. I think that's clear. And this survey is just one more death rattle for a game that's been dying for a long time. Even if it's slow, it's happening. And the way forward is what I've suggested. So would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and maybe you can watch a live stream as well. I'll see you in the next one. The survey they sent me was talking about new strand, stasis, and void supers and abilities. Yeah, that was earlier in the article. Yeah. Jez baffles me. How can someone be so publicly and confidently wrong for so long? What are you talking about? Why are you bringing up Jez? What did Jez say? Hey, did you know that your clips on X have been copyright claimed? I don't know who's doing it. It's not me, right? It's not me. Re-uploading 20 and 30 segments from people's live streams that are not altered, that are not repurposed, I don't think that falls under fair use. Like if you did that on YouTube, YouTubers would strike it. Like go to any streamer and do that. Like just take 20 and 30-minute segments of their stream and re-upload it to YouTube unaltered. They would say that's content theft. You're making money off my content. You're not doing anything to it. It's not a clip. It's not a montage. It's not a highlight. It's 20 minutes of my stream, right? I'll stream for 2.5 hours some days, and homie will have 7 clips that are 10 and 20 minutes long. So if you're going to act scummy and then somebody else is going to act scummy in reply and like hit your stuff, I don't feel any sympathy, right? I don't, right? When the shoe's on the other foot and somebody's now hurting you, how's that feel? It ain't me. I'm not doing it. But homie makes Twitter blue money off of my content and many other people, and he does nothing to it but re-upload it. It's content theft. It's not repurposed. It's not altered. There's no transformative action taken. He merely screen records it and re-uploads it. So if the troll is getting trolled, how's it taste when some of your own medicine gets shoveled down your throat? Is what I would say. It ain't me. I have never been interested in going to war with these guys and trying to stop them. I just call it what it is. So if there's some copyright Robin Hood out there, feeling like they're going to do, the Lord's work and smack a loser like that down, it doesn't bother me one bit, but it's not me. I am not submitting copyright claims for clips on Twitter. That's not me. So, okay, so that's the Destiny segment, and I got another one for you guys. I got a lot of segments for you guys today. If you like this, leave a comment below later if you're watching or if you're here right now and you like this, if you like the vibe of this. YouTube likes it better when we do a single topic live stream, but I think that's really difficult sometimes because there's not something we can talk about for 3 hours. So I thought that this was an excellent video by Game Design Library. Now, Game Design Library has less than 2,000 subscribers, but this video got 23,000 views. So I wanted to give this some attention, and I will definitely have a link below to the original video. And I want to have this conversation with you guys about Arc Raiders. Like, it's the PvP PvE thing. Like, why are people feeling like the game is changing, and others are feeling like the game isn't changing at all? Some of us don't feel like anything has changed in the game. We feel like it's still very friendly. If we go in and we're friendly, others are friendly. Others are saying that the game is starting to turn and they're getting shot by more people. This guy does some, I think, very, very helpful analysis on this topic. All right, let me make sure we're good to go.
Video. You might be thinking, for those that watch...
Okay, there we go. Let me turn my music off and let's do this. So I'm going to watch a video with you guys, and I think this is a wonderful breakdown. There'll be a link below to the channel in the original video about the whole don't shoot, whether you should shoot PvP meta in Arc Raiders. It's an ongoing discussion, and this guy, I think, does a really great analysis of why you may or may not be running into PvP or friendly players, why your experience might be changing. I've got a whole video I want to make. I've got a theory on what they're doing with the matchmaking, but let's watch this video. I think that he has some really good observations here.
For those that watched my last video, you might be thinking, man, this guy has changed his tune. To that I reply, no you. For new viewers, let me just give you some context. About a week ago, I started to see a lot of buzz around how people play Arc Raiders in solo versus trios, so I delved a bit deeper to fully understand it. The results of which I made in a video which people seem to agree with at first. You see, what has made me to make this video you are watching now, titled something along the lines of why people are now shooting each other in Arc Raiders, is because of the comments of the first video. I have gone through the process of categorizing the sentiment of players' own experiences of playing Arc Raiders, and here are the results from the first day of upload until today. So as you can see, though slight, we have more players in the comments saying they agree that most of their experiences are PvE compared to PvP, though it is pretty much even.
Now, I will say, the reason that I think it's even, I'm going to give away some of my own theory and show some of my cards here. I think the game tries to put you with people that are like you. If you refuse to shoot other players and you give a little frowny face after dying to PvP, I believe it tries to put you into matches and servers with other players like that. And there are so many stinking people playing that there's enough people to do that for you. I think that's why people are like, I'm having PvP, I'm having PvE, like they're having that. Now, if you feel like, hey, I'm a peaceful player and I'm still getting shot by people and I'm still getting PvP, you might be shooting back. And this theory that I have is their algorithm isn't fine-tuned enough to know who the aggressor is. All it knows is you're putting damage on other players. At the end of a match, it just knows you shot players this many times, and it's going to funnel you in those games. If you play peaceful for 3 or 4 games in a row, even if you get shot and you die, you might be able to clean up your matchmaking. Like, just run that theory, try it out, go in with free kits. If people kill you, they kill you. Don't shoot back and see if that doesn't fix it, especially if you take the survey and give it a frowny face. So I think that might be why he's getting such an even exchange here.
As we hit day 4, comments suggesting that the majority of their experiences are PvP start to overwhelm the comments around.
Let me move out of the way because I think you can start to see the trend here. Now, again, if my theory is correct, okay, what I think starts to happen is cause and effect. This right here, this bar that starts to spike up, I think people start to get, annoyed, bored, or whatever. Or there's a new map where you're indoors and it's just really conducive to PvP. What happens then is the blue people get converted into red people because they're getting shot at, so they start shooting back. So then the next time they play, they're more prone to be thrown into PvP environments. This is just my theory as to why this data trajectory exists. Like, I don't know if this is just more people getting bored, or are the bored people converting the peaceful people? Like, is that what's happening? Like, are the aggressors essentially almost like the game of zombies or vampires where, like, you get shot and you become a zombie? Like, it's almost like that. Like, it's like they're converting people just by being more aggressive.
On PvE. Now, that is really interesting for a few reasons, but firstly, I just want to clarify in case people have their own perceptions of the comment section. I am only counting comments which clearly state their experience, and that the experience is more so something afflicted on them rather than them being the cause of it. For example, I'm not counting comments towards PvP sentiment for people boasting that they just love killing.
Animals, old people, doesn't matter. I just love killing.
But yeah, this data is really interesting because of a few potential reasons as to why this could be the case. The first reason I want to cover is more from the social side of how people have been communicating about this game. Mean World Syndrome is a term coined by George Gerbner based on his cultivation theory, which is the belief that the world is more dangerous and hostile than it actually is, which is a perception often cultivated by heavy viewers of media, especially television. The belief that the world being more dangerous than it is comes from the fact that the function of news broadcasts, especially nowadays, is to give viewers interesting and shocking newsworthy stories 24/7. The reason why these stories are newsworthy is because they are not commonplace, but the perception of, say, violence is that it is commonplace because it is commonly broadcasted. That is exactly what I think happened to Arc Raiders at the start of his life. But when it comes to...
This is such a great observation. Like, I love these dots that he's connecting, because Arc Raiders has been referred to many times as a social experiment, and part of the social experiment is the streamers, the clips, the highlights, the funny things you've seen on Twitter and Reddit. And that starts to become like the news stories where you're like, man, the world's really crazy right now. Well, you're seeing things that are not commonplace, and it seems like they're commonplace. So you're seeing people that are shooting and betraying and doing those things. You're thinking, well, that's really common in the game now.
The violence example specifically is actually the opposite for Arc Raiders. Because there is this phenomenon in Arc Raiders where players can and are friendly, more so in solo, it was broadcasted by streamers and in Reddit posts and all over social media, making the perception of such phenomenon feel commonplace. This isn't discounting the fact that it happened, but it cannot be argued against that the concentration of examples online was more so than the likely percentage of actual peaceful interactions in game. So I think what happened with the comment section of this video was that the more the video got exposed, the more players of Arc Raiders saw the video and wanted to provide their own alternative experience. Now, my second point is an actual game design point, and it's something I've been diving into a lot over the last week, as well as talking to a few friends who have played many more hours than I have in this game. The best
Now, before he goes into this part, I also want to add something here. I love what Burnt Peanut and Myth and all those guys are doing. That will also, I think, increase the PvP. You got guys like Shroud who are all about the PvP and they're clip farming every day, right? They're looking for highlights and great clips. And I think that's great. I think that's part of Shroud's brand, right? I have no problem with him doing that. And I think what Myth and all these other guys, I think they're creating an incredibly cool vibe and moment for this game. They're creating history within the game. Like, I love that. It's this emergent form of gaming history. It's real and it's living, and I love that they're doing it. They're super, super sharp guys. I've always liked Myth. He's always been a super nice guy, and Burnt Peanut's kind of exploding. Good for them. Good for everybody else involved, like Timmy and Ninja and all those guys. I think I think they get a lot of hate, and it's not typically deserved. So that's going to play a factor too in the number of PvP engagements that you get into. So if you want to go, you want to go demon time and you want to put these outfits on and you want to take part in their war, you're going to get into more shootouts. So you might want to watch some of the videos and be aware of what outfits you should and should not wear if you're trying to stay peaceful.
Example and schema that triggers the likelihood of solo players teaming up is something which I mentioned in my first video, and it was based off the clip from Carnage, which I will quickly play again for you.
Where the game is designed so well with an enemy that is so easily able to lock you down and kill you in the right situations, and that is the ARC robots, that you really can get this us versus them thing when you're solo.
The bots are so difficult and so crucial to progression and survival early on that they almost force the player to at least consider the idea of teaming up if they are playing solo. I had this experience many times for myself. Due to my low skill level and experience at the beginning, I would often die to just 1 or 2 bots.
This is his first game. It's like his third game. He has a really hard time here. Yeah, he has a really hard time. He doesn't know where to shoot. He gets the defib. He doesn't know what the items do yet. That's rough.
Well, that went terribly. I just downed myself.
It's okay. It's okay.
But as soon
We've
as I
all been
joined
there.
up with someone, it was a cakewalk, like literally night and day difference.
So what he's going to show here is, he takes a couple shots at this this arc, and then he goes to run away. Somebody else starts shooting at it, and so he turns around, and this is like emergent co-op, right? They're suddenly taking out the arc together.
So that led me to think, if skill level and actual character level in-game is a big factor to the player's experience of dealing with bots, could there be an issue with pacing, which could be another explanation for the gradual increase in PvP sentiment in the comment section of the previous video? Let's take a look at a graph.
This is such good analysis from him. I love this. I think this really contextualizes the boredom that I'm talking about, because it's not necessarily boredom, but it is also part of the power fantasy of why people might be doing more PvP.
Graph that I'm going to make up on the spot now to illustrate my point. If, for example, as you progress through the game, your skill and character level increases like this, but for every new area the bot's level increases like this, of course, barring a few exceptions, then you are gradually going to feel less and less threatened by the bots, and therefore have less of a need to team up. Additionally, due to the progression of the game itself, where players who have leveled up can also return to easier difficulty areas, this becomes even more true, as fighting the bots at the start of the game is easy compared to endgame bots. So if the difficulty of bots are agreed as being a significant contributor to the player behavior we are talking about, then we can't ignore these discrepancies in pacing through the game's progression being a big factor. And again,
And I think this is such a good point that he makes, because that means Embark can create organic fluctuation within the community and the meta. They can create harder environments and harder arc and bait people with cool loot. And then those environments, you will see PvP engagements start to go back down. Now, that doesn't, however, protect the early sections, like you go to the dam, it's not going to protect that section from people going back and just like, oh, I'm going to be PvP every day. I'm just going to go to the early areas where the bots are less of a threat, and I'm just going to whoop up on people in spawn camp. This is why I have said something they could consider doing is create a PvE environment for that early area. Like, let that first map give people the toggle. Don't let you toggle anywhere else. You can have bespoke content like dungeons and raids that are PvE. You could have the first map be PvE. Everything else, PvP should be live. I think that tension is incredible, and it's part of what makes the game so addicting. You can't take that tension away. If you do, you lose the secret sauce. The secret sauce is the human element. You can't lose that, but I do think they could put some protective barriers in for the early area, because his little chart that he drew, I think, really speaks to why you're seeing that. You're seeing people get bored and go back to the dam, and those are the people that were complaining about the overwhelming majority of people running free kits, because you're going to an early area where more people are going to run free kits because they're more loot impoverished, or they're not wanting to take risks because they're running quests.
As more and more players progress through the game, it makes sense that the sentiment for PvP grows more than PvE experiences. Finally, we just have to consider that regardless of how many players are actively trying to play PvE or PvP, that the players that are playing PvP in solo have a several orders of magnitude greater impact on other players that are playing PvE. To illustrate what I mean by this, let's do a bit of nodal mapping. Let's pretend that a player who only wants to play PvP spawns in here, and they move throughout the map, through these buildings, and then sit at this extraction elevator. Then let's draw 19 other players and their potential paths. As you can see, there is not an insignificant chance that just one PvP player, if of course they stay alive, could interact and fight many players on their journey. If they make it to
This is called getting one guide, right? It happens in YouTube and Twitch chats, right? Getting one guide. You have one guy in the chat being really, really negative, and you have 20 people that are not being negative, and they're like, man, why is chat being so negative, right? One person has that power. This is a great illustration as to why you could go into a game and be like, man, PvP has really increased, and it's like one guy. Excuse me. Like, he goes into the map, and he encounters a couple of people, and 3 or 4 people feel like, man, I had a PvP experience, and one guy did it. Just one. That's all it takes. And you got to think, if there's more than one guy in the server doing it, it spreads like a spider web of experiences. So lots of people leave that server thinking PvP is increasing.
An extraction point, which say 50% of the lobby, so 10 people, try to get into, then again, if they stay alive, they will impact every single one of those players. This example here illustrates that if one PvP interacts with 15 other players in a 20-person lobby, then that one player makes at least 75% of that lobby feel like they've had a PvP experience. From my own experience as well, it's actually quite common for me to have a broadly peaceful PvE experience, only to be guaranteed a fight with a camper extraction every single match.
Also, you have to remember, negative experiences are more potent, okay? If you go through your day and you don't stub your toe, you don't really think about it, okay? You don't. If you go through your day and you don't stub your toe, you're like, oh, I didn't stub my toe today. But if you stub your toe and it hurt, and I mean, your toenail turns a little black, you're like, oh my gosh, like it's going to stand out. If you have 6 games where everybody's friendly and the 7th game somebody kills you, betrays you, and you have good loot, you're going to remember the PvP experience. You're going to remember the negative experience. Like PvP players have a greater ability to do that. Oh, am I YouTube featured right now? Great. So here he tries to extract. He does have frame drops in his capture sometimes. That's not my broadcast. That's his footage. Yeah, I don't think his game is doing that. Oh no, his game is doing that. He's getting like 0 FPS and 21 FPS. So his GPU is struggling.
Oh, bastard, man. Again, this is just one player in the example of a 20-player lobby. That's only 5% of players, yet they could make 75% or more players feel like the game is more PvP than perhaps it was previously. So there's 3 angles you can look at this whole thing, which again, I would like to pause and say that this is amazing for a video game to be able to do just from the design alone.
Agreed.
But yeah, we have the mean world syndrome, where it could be the case that PvP was never really that big. It was just shocking that it was and covered so much in media that it was perceived as being big. Then we have the pacing and progression, whereas as the game continues, players outpace the bots and feel less need to team up in solo. And we have the overweighted influence of PvP players in an otherwise PvP lobby. Now, I have a very strong suspicion that what we have seen over the course of this game's short lifespan is a mixture of all 3. PvE might never have been as big as what people thought. Pacing has made PvE less common, and therefore PvP players have had more of an impact on the game. It will be interesting to see where the game goes from here. There is a vocal subsection of the audience calling for PvE servers, whilst in the same breath there are people wanting to avoid that, and despite being a PvE player, like the fact that a PvP player could jump at them at any moment. And then of course there are the strict PvP players that just love killing.
I just love killing.
As always, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like so others can see it, and subscribe to the channel for more game design related content, and keep on keeping on.
Okay, so yeah, make sure and support the video. Use the link below in the description. I just such a good video, and I do think that Embark is going to have to really think about the future of the game. Do you want the identity of the game to shift or alter in any way? Because adding PvE would do that. I don't think that is a solution. I think PvE has uses. There are environments where it could be used, but I don't think the entirety of the game should give people that as an option. I really think that could dilute what makes the game so special. What is happening with the social experiment, the conversations, and the debates, that is a feather in the game's cap. You don't want to dilute that. We need to be having these types of arguments about Arc Raiders in 6 months, because that means people are still playing, they're still passionate, they're still engaged. If you neuter the game and you give people this very safe, all rough edges removed environment, and they can just play the entire game PvE, I actually think boredom and disengagement will settle in quicker. And obviously they have to pit that against, that's a risk, right? If they do PvE, that's a risk of people disengaging because they get bored. They have to weigh that against the number of people who might be quitting right now because they feel like it's just turned into a PvP fest. So make sure and support his video. If you liked my video and reaction and my commentary, hit like, share, and subscribe so I can see you in the next one. All right, another segment for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. A little bit of commentary and some Arc Raiders stuff. We got one more thing I wanted to do with you guys and then a game I wanted to show you. So make sure you're hitting the like button. Try to get us to 200 likes. It's been a bit of a lighter day because the schedule was all out of whack. I slept in because I stayed up too late playing Satisfactory with my wife, and then we had all kinds of trouble, and it seemingly updating the drivers fixed it. We've gone for 2.5 hours without a single hiccup, knock on wood. So seemingly there was some kind of a driver-related issue with my GPU. Thank you to all the new subscribers today as well. I find it cool they add quests for the new maps. As cool as it can be, it seems like a disposable game. Well, I'm not really pumping these out, huh? Well, I looked at the news cycle, I looked at these videos, and I was like, you know what? This could be really great content for next week, because there's a lot of people that aren't here right now, and it's that the relevancy of these discussions is not going away. Yotei flopping, Arc Raiders, Destiny 2, Steam Machine pricing. These are all things that'll be relevant in the coming weeks. And so I can, there's also people that watch my channel that primarily only watch the uploads. So I can give them, what I think is good quality content while I'm gone. And that's really helpful. And if you guys engage with those videos while I'm out of town, thank you so much for doing that. It's always helpful, as a creator to have content planned for when you're out of town. So it's always drivers or DNS. Yeah, as soon as I looked up and saw that my video had froze, I was like, that's not bitrate. Bitrate doesn't cause OBS to do that. So I knew something was up. So before we play this game, I want to show you guys the game. I think it looks like it's going to be a fun little game. And I got one more video to show you. And I'm going to have to take a brief break when we do this. Let's see. And we are nearing we are kind of nearing the final runway of the show. So we would need 235. We would need 235 members if we're going to do a Friday night stream. Okay. Okay, so the game that I want to show you, I want to get it installed and ready to go. I wish listed it this morning, and it is on sale. It's called Morsels, and I think it looks really, really charming, and it's got a good score, and it came out 3 days ago. So let me snag this installed, and I'll show it to you guys. Okay. All right, and we'll timestamp that. And the next, the boredom with Arc has already set in for me. Honestly, I'm very interested in what the player base is going to do with the boredom and the PvP angle. I'm very interested. Let me get old Mr. Jake Baldino on the screen here. He's got an interesting video. And actually, I want to do something. I want to see if I can run this with my other. Yeah, let me recap this so that I can see Twitch. So if you guys add commentary, like whenever I'm reacting to videos, I can't see Twitch, but I'll be able to if I do this. Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So are multiplayer games taking over, and do people not want to play single-player games anymore? It's a common debate when people look at the player engagement thresholds. They look at the numbers, and they say, well, everybody is playing live service games, and they don't care about single-player games. And I've continued to push back on that notion and said that, listen, those games, by design, are to capture more of your hours. And I use my nephew as sort of an anecdotal piece of evidence. He bought a PlayStation 5 because he wanted to play Spider-Man 2, but he has since logged way more hours in Warzone. And you would look at those data points and say, well, he didn't buy the PlayStation for an exclusive, and he clearly prefers multiplayer over single player, and that would be incorrect. He's played a bunch of games that are single player, Hollow Knight and Lies of P, and then Spider-Man 2. But those games are not designed for you to log the same number of hours as a multiplayer game like Warzone or Apex. And Jake Baldino has a video where a survey went out and people seemingly want more single-player games. So I want to watch this because I really resonated with what he said, and I myself am a big fan of single-player games and have kind of gotten into that headspace now of wanting more single-player over multiplayer experiences. So let's take a look at what he has to say.
All right, two things in the gaming news world I want to talk about this week. The first involves a new survey that finds that more than half of gamers prefer single-player games. This comes despite a lot of people feeling like, once again, single-player games are kind of going away with all these companies just dumping tons of money into live service stuff. Maybe it's not all doom and gloom. Let's look into this. So this survey...
Now, before he looks into it, I do want to say something. I think one of the reasons that you see like a lot of the money going into live service is because it can have a really, really good return of investment. That doesn't mean that single-player games are going away. I think that's a common mistake that people make, especially if you look at the budget that PlayStation outlined. They're spending more money than they ever have on their single-player experiences and their tentpole titles, while also increasing their funding for live service.
It comes from Ampere Analysis. We've talked about some of their surveys and polls and research they've conducted before. They're essentially a market research firm centered around entertainment and technology. And for this one specifically, according to GameSpot, they surveyed responses from 34,000 players across 22 different markets around the world. A couple little interesting numbers to come from this. The first is that interest in single-player games has actually increased 4% over the last 4 years. That's interesting to me specifically because, we often talk about how much the market and investment and everything has changed since COVID, where COVID was kind of looked at as like the peak, the boom of video game numbers, and now things are kind of leveling back out.
I also think that the reason people are, I never like to leave it on an awkward pause, so I'm gonna switch scenes. I also think that people are probably increasing their interest in single player games because like single player games are getting better. Like they're getting more cinematic, they're getting more impactful. Like, the game of the year was Elden Ring, and then it was Baldur's Gate, and an Astrobot, and then it was it's going to be Expedition 33 this year. Like those games I think are probably having an impact on interest because people are like, I never really was interested in games like that, but that one was so good. Now I get to play a new game and a new experience that maybe I was going to ignore, and the game's prestige and their awards I think settle on that. And Eugene is saying the most popular games are multiplayer. That doesn't mean that the majority play multiplayer. There's a whole aspect of this that I've never even mentioned until right now, and that's that if you look at Steam and the number of games and the number of games that come out and the games that explode and are super popular like Schedule 1, well, I mean, single-player games, AA and indie games are huge on Steam, and that's an enormous player base that plays an awful lot of video games. Single player is doing pretty well there also, so let's keep watching.
The fact that that many people jumped into gaming, but according to all the people they surveyed here, there is a 4% increase in traditional old single player games is good, especially considering you see things like Fortnite rising up, Roblox rising up. And I've talked about this a lot, but I was never really sure if that would translate to people moving over to playing traditional regular games. But it seems like, at least according to the survey, there's a glimmer of that being a possibility with a little more interest here. Again, 4% increase over the last 4 years in single player games. Another interest.
Now, if somebody wants to diminish that and say like 4% interest is not much, it's a 4% interest in an already pretty big user base that likes single player. Like, it's not like single player is down and no one cares. Like, if you look at like big selling titles like Pokemon, Hogwarts Legacy, like even Ghost of Yotei is in the top 10 this year already after just 1 month. That's a single player game, right? So there is still an enormous group of people that play and want single player games. So that group and interest in those types of games is increasing, even if it's only 4%. I think that's a sign of health, and that's good for those of us that like single player games.
Interesting thing from this involves age specifically. Only 49% of younger players between 16 to 24 preferred single player, while 64% of gamers aged 55 to 64 favored it. Among gamers 25 to 34, single player games were preferred by 56%. I feel like the 25 to 34-year-old age demo is who I'm talking to a lot, although I know some of you older folks that watch as well. Shout out to you, but it seems like our
Thank you for shouting out us old folks here. I'm 44. I appreciate that, Jake.
Our demographic is leaning to be the one that prefers single player games. And I think that's a no-brainer, right? Because I think a lot of us grew up at a time playing games where multiplayer wasn't as much of a thing. Of course, a
lot of us also, I think, really sort of squeezed and wrung out that rag, right? Like, yes, I grew up and everything was single player, and then multiplayer was huge. I played Quake 2, then Quake 3, then Unreal Tournament, then Call of Duty, and, 15 years later, I'm like, okay, I've had my fill of PvP. I've had my fill of multiplayer. I also have aged out. I'm older and slower, I don't have the reflexes of a 17-year-old who's going to be quick twitch shooting me in a video game, and I'm sitting here at 44 being like, you know what? I'm wanting to take it easy now. I turn on easy mode in games now. I'm not the guy I used to be, and that's okay. I think that age demographic is going to play a role.
A lot of us grew up with the rise of multiplayer, both couch co-op and then eventually online, but still the majority of the offering was single player games. So I feel like naturally we are still going to prefer those types of things.
I also think trends in gaming can create false notions. So like Eugene is saying, like multiplayer games are the most popular individual games, but more players are playing the variety of single player games. Like quantitatively, if you add up where everybody, is spending their time, you look at a single game as being like this black hole of attention. You're like, well, everybody's playing that. Everybody's paying attention to it. Yes, but the whole of Steam's user base and the consoles is playing a ton of single-player games.
From Ampere, the analysis firm, they said, and I quote, "This data reaffirms that single-player games are absolutely still viable and sought after in the live service-dominated landscape." So look, I may very much be cherry picking a survey that totally tailors to my interests. Okay, whatever. But we talk about it a lot.
I don't think he is. I think it's fair. I think the data sounds like the data seems to line up with what we see in player behavior.
I think GameRanks just did a video the other day, or I didn't write that video, but GameRanks did a video the other day just talking about how, it feels like a lot of AAA game publishers are turning their nose up against single player games, with a lot of them just being remakes or releases or whatever, where their main focus in new IP, but also just big investment, is trying to get a piece of that live service pie, oftentimes to their detriment, right? That's absolutely a trend. That is absolutely a thing. And, you think that single player games are dying off. People are apparently buying less of them, but still, somehow, people still prefer them more, at least according to this. And I think there's probably going to be more surveys coming out that suggest this as well. There's no denying, like, the multiplayer games.
What's going on? This happened earlier.
Or live service games, or, the yearly Maddens and FIFAs or football, whatever it's called now.
This happened with the other video. I don't understand. Like, it just goes black.
Are turning their nose up against single player games. there's probably going to be more surveys coming out.
Oh, no, it's
that
just straight up
suggest
black.
this as well. There's
Sorry.
no denying like the multiplayer games or live service games or the yearly Maddens and FIFAs or football, whatever it's called now. And then
Jake, it looks like your editor forgot to put B-roll there. It's okay, though. It's okay. It happens.
Fortnite and live service stuff. Like, there's no denying that there is a massive, massive, huge mainstream audience for those things. There is a hunger for that thing. But I think I don't really need to talk too much like single player people like we're dying off, right? Like we're like the dodo or anything like that. We're not going extinct. And still, as much as you think developers are kind of turning their nose away or like really their eyes are interested on a different prize, not single player games, there are still plenty of single player games still releasing all the time. While it doesn't feel like the deluge we got from the late 90s, early to mid 2000s, yeah, still, as a player, there's been enough things keeping me interested. Granted, some of the big studios we see, the big AAA guys, when they release a big single player game, more recently, it's been undercooked or half-baked or half-assed or released in a glitchy state, leading to negative perception and negative sales.
Yeah, well, and the other thing, too, is that there's a factor here of scale that, like, a live service game, like, one of the reasons, like, Arc Raiders is worthy of praise, but, like, I have a hard time giving it the same level of praise that I'm going to give something like a Yotei or a Death Stranding 2 or even an Expedition 33 is the scale. Like, what you're actually building in Arc Raiders, the scale of it, the complexity of the game and the world and the graphics and everything, it's just not even the same. It's not even the same ballpark as the world and the mechanics and the engine and everything that goes into a game like a Death Stranding 2. So I think that's playing a role as well. Scale of games, size of games is getting so much bigger so that when you make like a really, really cool, live service game, it's not nearly at the scale of what a big single-player game needs to be. Like, I know Borderlands has co-op, but it's largely considered by many people to be like sort of a single-player game that also, has co-op. And it had a bunch of problems at launch. The scale and the size of the game is huge. It's 10 times the size of a project, and the intricacies and the complexities of it is just so much significantly larger than something like Arc Raiders. And that's another advantage that live service games have. They can spin up with a simple concept and explode, and then they can scale off of the money. And then when you sell a single player game, it's like you got to spend years on it. It's got to be amazing and mind blowing. And then if it's not ready to go, you're going to get hammered on the reviews.
That's not because of the fact that it was a single player game, but because it was released in poor quality. So it's almost like a little bit of a self-own or an own goal in a way. Look, I'm rambling. I thought this was an interesting thing to talk about, though, just because there has been so much conversation around this lately, this whole live service push, of course, but
and we're only about 5 minutes into his video. I think that's enough that I got to kind of share my thoughts. If you guys want to watch the entire video, I'll put a link below. It'll be in the description of this video, as well as a live stream where I live stream this with my audience. So if you want to engage with me in topics like this, hit like, hit subscribe, do all the things so I can see you in the next video. Yeah, I didn't think it was worth going any further. I think I was just going to start repeating myself, and that also, it's only a portion of his video. It's not his entire video. So support that content and support all content that we ever use in our vids. And I need a quick break, and then I'm going to show you guys this game, and then we're probably going to be done. We're out of gas. We're out of momentum. The day didn't start very well, so we didn't get great velocity this morning. So I will be right back. Thank you guys so much. And I'm going to show you a game called Morsel here in a second. All right, I'm going to have to open up another tab so I can see the Twitch chat. I see why I like this guy. He uses the term own goal. That's right. How do you pop out the chat? Oh, right here. Okay. All right, you guys, your window for hitting the goal is fast closing. Fastly closing, quickly closing quickly. I can't talk. Okay. Let me go in here. I'm not going to switch directories on Twitch for this. I just wanted to show you guys this game. I have not tried it. I have not tried this, so we're gonna try out Morsels. This was in a skill up video, and I thought it looked really cool. It's on sale right now for like $13. It's on all platforms. It just came out this week on all platforms. Let's check the settings. Let's do no filter. I don't like the filter, and I don't like screen shake. Okay. No, it's not co-op, unfortunately. I wish that it was. Okay. Yeah, the sounds are kind of interesting, aren't they? Yeah, if you don't like wet sounds, this game's going to be a bit much for you. Mouse, take card. Much depends on you. Oh, he gave me a hug. Wait, go home? Oh, all your stats. Okay. All right. Hard cheese. A chewy challenge for the medium. Okay, so if like a kiddo or somebody or me wants to play it and not have it be too hard, you can lower difficulty. Okay, the wet sounds from the walking. A bit much. Well, that homie's sleeping. I didn't even know what I was picking. Okay, so you can attack on a grid with the buttons, or you can... More daisy chains. What the frick? Special abilities are replenished over time, but the quickest way to recharge them is to deal attack damage to enemies. So I just did my special with left trigger. The frick? He's back there playing music. You're watching on Twitch? This feels strange. Thank you for watching wherever you watch. Part 1. The Big City. This little stinky mouse is moving up in the world. Oh. Oh, ow. So I have 3. Oh. Oh, he's... I don't know if I can get him. I got a key. Oh, I can't shoot while I'm holding that. Ooh. Well, these cost money and I don't have enough. Hang on. Oh, we need one more. Oh, holy frick. Yeah, we can't get the cloud because he's up in the air. What's that? What is... I must be full. Oh, I'm full. Oh, that's where the key goes. Alright, we gotta get the key. Okay. Well, hang on. I don't know what these are, so I'm just gonna get that one. More critical. Yeah, the music's really good. Oh, I got a heart back. Nice. Okay. We should probably go up. Woo! Okay. The sound effects, oh my gosh. There's probably so many people leaving and muting the stream. The sound effects are a bit much. Oh my gosh, that's a snake. We've overstayed. We've overstayed our welcome. I wonder if after a certain amount of time the snake shows up. Like, is there a speed mechanic? You know what I mean? What a fortuitous encounter. What do you mean? He just took my money. Little glitchy on the loading screens, but the game itself runs fine. Sounds. Yeah, you can turn the sounds down. Let's try that. I went a little too quiet. Let's try 50. Did that change my shot at all? Oh, Rainbow Rage is my L1. So if we get into a pickle, we need to use that. Oh, I see. Oh. I need to roll more. Oh, okay, we died. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's part of the game, though. I don't think you're supposed to like restart sewer. Let's go to the sewer. Play Nobody Saves the World. Yes. Okay. Really? Okay. Wow. So meta progression, and this feels like it's just more of a straight rogue. Try another run after losing. Smuggle Daisy. Let's try this one. Oh, this attack stings. We're gonna have to be way more sparing with this attack. This one like has a really bad reload. Okay. Oh, I probably should have saved that pizza if I got hurt. Ow. Yeah, this one's kind of tough because you got to get close. Like, it's nice because it's strong, but you got to get, like, right up on him. Oh, but I can get that guy. Oh, I didn't see that guy. ticket? 50 again. Okay. What did we miss? I wonder, is it random? Like you sometimes not get a key? I don't think the ticket will open the door. Where is the ticket? Wait, where did I leave the ticket? Do I just have... Yeah, the key for this. I don't remember seeing anybody drop a key. Oh, we can go down. I don't understand. Well, those are permanent. They're a different kind. Yeah. Well... What? Are we gonna fight? So I am a little confused. It's like it's like immediately super punishing. Like, I'll say from like a design perspective, like my dash has a cooldown. So it's like you have to really get into a rhythm, and with a big group fight like that, but the combat rhythm's a lot of bobbing and weaving, which I'm not like a huge fan of. Art style and music is like super on point. I don't know if the difficulty feels in line with the game though. Some kind of a... Ow! Okay. It's a dice. So we have a ticket, we have a dice, and we have food up there. I can't shoot you out there. Oh, they're coming from something. Oh, they're coming from this. I didn't even see that. Some of the stuff kind of blends in. Oh, the ticket flew away. What am I supposed to do with a bone? I wonder if the... Okay, there's probably some RNG, right? Like we take this with us to the next area and potentially give it to somebody. Oh. What the heck? Oh gosh. What's happening? I threw the dice and it did terrible things. New morb unlocked. Dash morb. Okay. No, this is not Moonlighter. This is called Morsels. The content loop's not really grabbing me. It's super it's like punishing like right away. And it certainly is a game that has charm. So it's not like you get super invested and you die. So you can like jump right back in. I'm not quite sure I understand it though. Like what exactly am I doing? Am I just trying to get farther? Am I trying to get... The thing that I saw in Skillet's video, it looked kind of like you get like abilities and morph them and combine them with cards. Seems like leveling up unlocks like better abilities. Oh. Okay. Choose what's... Oh. So am I going to have like double... Wait. What did I don't understand what oh, quick switch. Okay. I mean, this one might be because I got like a guy flying around me. Oh. The heck, man? I don't understand. What have I done? No, I didn't try Monsters Are Coming. That didn't make any sense. Hitting them didn't do anything. Pushing them didn't do anything. I just kept getting hurt. That was very bizarre. So I lost that person, that card. Okay. We consistently keep getting to the end, to the shop with 49. That seems like by design. Like, each level has 50 that you're supposed to find, I think. Yeah, the music's fantastic. Okay, yeah, so the timer has hit, and now I got the snake. Oh. Yeah. There's so many games out right now. You've really got to hook me with your content loop. Like 20 minutes into Moonlighter, I was like, yo, this is so good. This is kind of not. Like, this is just not... The loop is fine, but like the loop isn't enjoyable enough to keep dealing with the the mechanics of like fail. Like okay, so I lost a character because you had a trap with boxes. It didn't explain it, and it just kept hurting me. Right? Like, so I just died. It's like it's a lot of pain with no explanation. And so your loop's not strong enough. Do you know what I mean? Your content loop, your gameplay loop's not strong enough for me to sort of put up with it, if that makes sense. Like, it needs to be a little bit more of an on-ramp. Like, obviously I could go turn the difficulty down, but like your normal difficulty is, it just seems to be extremely punishing. And I'm not like getting hooked by anything other than the music and the art style are both on point, but that's not enough to keep somebody playing, I don't think. Like, we played Moonlighter the other day, and within 30 minutes, I was hooked. I was like, this is a great little loop. Even though I failed and died, there is this sense of progression and learning. And, like, I don't feel like I've learned almost anything in this. Other than, like, some of the movement. And that's pretty grotesque. Like Binding of Isaac, right? Like, you don't know what any of these items do. So you're very much just kind of learning through the pain. It's very Binding of Isaac adjacent. Dead enemies become ghosts. What the frick? Why would I do that? Why would that? Is that I wonder if that is that a bad? Oh gosh, is that a bad thing? So, as a ghost, what's he do? Does he help me? He can't hurt me. I wonder if the ghosts help you. Oh, wow. Okay, I want to leave with the ticket and see what happens. Because if this is like Binding of Isaac and you very quickly get stronger and cooler stuff, I could totally see this being addictive. But like right now, it's a really... No, you can't bring the ticket with you. Okay. Oh, no, yes, you can. Let's play a little game. No time for childish thing. Oh, so this is like a challenge. So I could have said... What does it say? Squeak, gnaw, evil. Squeak, no evil. Speak, no evil. Squeak, no evil. Oh. Oh. Oh, gosh. This is like a weird version of Frogger. There's a gun! Man, these guys are on some, like, they're on the good stuff. The guys that made this game, they're on the good stuff, bro. They're on that Jimi Hendrix style drugs, bro. Oh, frickin'. Oh, I got a gun. Let's go. Oh, another gun. Oh, yeah, we're cooking now, boys. We're cooking now. Let's go. Watch out for that gun. Oh, he shot me. Okay, I got 1 hit point left. Oh, we need that gun. We need that gun. I got 2 guns. 1 for each of you. Okay. What do I get for that? Oh, 3rd place, not too bad. Yeah. Did you cheat or something? No, I didn't cheat, you frick. 2,000 gets to this. Oh, well, thank you. I don't know what that's for, but I appreciate it. Okay. I think you've got to go in with the, like, it's Binding of Isaac. It's, you know what I mean? Oh, frick. Yeah, let him go in there and blow all that up. Yeah, come on. Oh no. Oh no. We gotta keep this. This makes me think of the Life Aquatic soundtrack. Oh gosh. Oh. No, it's gonna blow away. Yeah, the ghosts fight for me. Kind of. Oh, that cheese isn't health. I was saving the cheese on the traps. I thought it was health. It's the currency. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, man! He's the guy that I need the tickets for. Shoot. Let's see if we can find another one. I wonder if there's like one ticket per instance. Okay. Well, hello there, Lou. Oh, I'm a level 2 now. Oh, look at how strong I am now. Okay. What has happened? Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. Got him. It was like a mini boss. Okay, so we want Okay, we're vibing now. We're kind of vibing, chat. Oh, frick. I need that heart. Okay, we have a key. Oh no. Is that the snake? What's that sound mean? Oh, there's the key. Oh, there he is. Frick. Alright, you come up here. Snaky boy. Come on. Go. Oh. Let's get the frick out. We gotta go. There was a guy to buy stuff from. Shoot. Oh. There was a guy to buy stuff from. I could have done it. I could have done it. Heal up all morsels. No. Heal Widzel 1 heart. No, we don't need... Yeah, I don't want to spend currency because we're full health. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you, Omega. How are you, Goddess Omega? Rainbow Rage. Okay, we got a Rainbow Rage. I don't seem to be able to kill the camera. I don't know what it's doing. We're not going to stick around to find out. Oh. What? What is that? Where did he go? So you're getting on a bit. No morsel can live forever. In fact, matured morsels will retire when their XP meters are filled up. Don't be too sad. It's a natural part of a morsel's life cycle. Wait, what are you saying to me? Am I going to lose this guy? Oh, F. Oh, shoot. We gotta kill the flower. Oh. That could have gone better. Oh, yes, we get a new morsel. I don't know what the frick that one is without health, but I'm gonna grab it. What the frick? Yo, this game is freaking crazy. Oh, he's a timer. The snake gets smaller and smaller. Yoink. Oh, I can shoot those mouths. More tofu. I don't know what that does. This is totally gonna be like Binding of Isaac, where you're gonna have to like make notes about items and what they I can't. Yeah, like I spent that on the fountain and I don't know what happened. Is there a way to see the map? Oh, you can use the D-pad to quick switch. Huh. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a way to see the map. Oh, you can't shoot all of them. Oh, frick. We gotta go. Blast. Go! Okay. Bye-bye, Fleece. Will lend a friend. Perhaps another time. Yeah, I don't want to lend you anybody. So I had to spend currency to keep one of my people. Okay. Okay. This game has a hump. You can get over the hump. I think this is a good little game here. Yeah, I can't talk to this guy. That's the Baron Ginger. I was elected to eat. What? The frick? First boss. It's a frickin' burger. Oh, the art style in this game is so freaking good. Look at that. Look at the dadgum burger. Oh, shoot. That was my special. The music is so great. Oh, frick. There's olives. We got him! Let's get all the stuff. Get all the stuff. Get all the stuff. Okay, boys. There's a game here. I think you routinely underestimate new rogue hump. Like it's normal to feel overwhelmed and confused. They don't really hold your hand most of the time. That is true. That is true. Especially the reason I kept pressing on and the reason I kind of was like, wait, I think this is kind of intended. Oh, I'm totally in the way. I just now realized. Let me go over here. I remember Ralph saying it's very Binding of Isaac. And Binding of Isaac is so fun if you just keep going. It's not fun immediately. You have to kind of like get through the pain. Heal all morsels, one heart. All morsels are faded, but find strength in the final movements. Yeah, I don't want that. We don't need the heart, but I don't want the faded thing. October Windows 11 security updates are causing gaming performance issues in some systems. Yeah, I was having issues today streaming. The driver update from October is what I installed, though. Oh, I got the cat. Oh, gosh. So I have like an electricity thing. Oh, shoot. Woo! Got him. Yeah, let's go. What do we get? Oh, we can get Smugsle or... We've not done the Shroom one yet. Let's try Shroom. Oh, we 3 deep out here. He coughs out... Oh, he coughs out little versions of himself. You can see... My son would love that. He's got a little butt crack. My son would think that is the funniest freaking thing. He will cackle if he sees something like that. Oh my gosh, my little minions! Go! Oh! Wait, what's this? Oh. Oh. Hang on. Oh! The green stuff hurts. There's a cool little trap in the room. Get them. Get them, my minions. Kill them all. Oh, we got a key. We got a key. Let's go over here. Oh, it's just for food. I was hoping it'd be for, currency. Wait, we can get the yoink. We can get our yoink on. I can't move! Oh, we're getting popped. Time to switch characters. Don't want my little dude to die. Hang on. More special. Let's go. Get our yoink on. Title Ono sex tape. It doesn't look like I brought it with me. That's enough of that. Turn it off. I'm not turning it off. I scared my guys. I wonder what that means. Am I going to lose my guys because they were scared? This game is such a vibe. Ooh. Hey, he leveled up. Let's go. I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't know what this guy's deal is. More critical. Oh, there's the key. Oh, that wasn't health. Oh, that's why those things aren't popping up. He flies. I was like, why am I not triggering the spikes? I got ghost snakes. Oh. Yeah, let's replace mushroom. Mushroom wasn't that great. Oh, this is the punchy guy. I don't like the punch guy. I gotta remember their names. Oh. Shoot. Oh. Yeah, let's try the Krotzel guy. There we go. Because I didn't like that guy anyway. The punch guy is annoying. Okay, Snake's he's gonna show up soon, I think. Yeah, let's go this way. I think this is the way out, isn't it? It's over by the spikies. Right? Yeah. I knew he was about to show up. Play a little game. Check the coin return flat for crumbs. Let's play a little game. Bloody Muridai. Bloody Muridai. Wait. Oh, I gotta bank them. I can't, I can't attack. Ow! Oh! Okay, so once you pick one up, you have to pick which, you have to listen for the door sound and it tells you where to take it. Okay. $400 gets 0. Oh, I didn't get anything. I didn't do a very good job. You got 9 souls in Bleak Faith? Oh, enjoy. Ow! Huh. It's weird, like, sometimes he can shoot. That's a weird room. Okay. It's like I don't have a choice here. Okay. Oh, we came from that way. Seems like the laser is not super strong. Oh, there was something in there. Yeah, the laser's not very strong. Oh, shoot, that's like slippery. Oh, I lost him. Another key? Ow! I don't think I really see... They killed the guy with the barrier. Oh, there's one. There's a spot for the key. Oh my gosh! What the frick, man? Both of my guys matured and are now gone. Oh, I should have brought the bone with me. I might have been able to do something with it. Shuffle all your morbs. Shuffle all your fuzzies. I can't. Well, chat. We are, we're headed to a boss. What did these little guys following me do for me, though? This is going to be a tough fight. My laser is really weak. A coconut. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I'm barely hurting him. Oh, I need to use my special. It makes the beam bigger and stronger, I think. I use those snakes. This is going to be a super long fight, boys. Oh. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh. Oh my gosh, that was so dumb. Can't believe I did that. All right, next one, we got to use our super on him. Oh my gosh. We've got him on the ropes, and I'm a one-tap, boys. Oh! Oh, I couldn't get away from him because my dodge was on a cooldown. Okay, I get it. I get it. Yep, this is a good little Binding of Isaac style game. We made it pretty far. We unlocked a lot of stuff. So why don't we go back to the sewer? I wonder if there's any way, you know, can you track your any kind of meta progression? Yeah, it looks like you can just go here and like track your stuff. Okay. Yeah, I don't like Smugsle. He can get crits after dashing. I guess that could be useful, but it just the momentum in the game doesn't feel conducive to like getting close to people. Yeah, I don't want Smugsle. I wonder if we'll feel stronger just because we're aware of the mechanics now. Okay. Ha! The poor little snail. Oh, that's right. We need the ticket for the bus. Oh, we don't have 50 yet. Now we do. More speedy. Does the ticket stay? I think the ticket stays there as long as I don't pick it up. I think. Okay. Let's get the ticket and go. A little birdie. Wild birdies are now your friends. Oh, see, if you have currency, you get like a better perk from these guys. Oh, maybe the arrows. shoot, the freaking water guy. I hate him. Okay. We gotta find the bus. Oh, we gotta get back up to our ticket. No! Bricks. Oh, shoot. He's big. Pause. Oh, the freaking... Morsels can become afflicted with a variety of ailments that affect their ability to perform. Morsels don't like this. Fortunately, cures are available if you don't know where to look. Let's try Pebzol. Oh, I'm supposed to run into people. Oh! This is an interesting way to play. So, I can still be hurt. Actually, oh wait. So you have to be in he has to be in motion, or he'll take damage. So you can take damage from projectiles as the little pebble, and if you stop moving, you take damage. Like contact damage. Oops. Yeah. We've not leveled this guy up before. Oh, stupid water guy. Oh, I hate him. Oh, there's the bus. Snake time. Let's go. It's not worth the risk. Yeah, this game's called Morsels. Oh, shoot. No! No! That is frickin' rude, bro. That's rude. I just got Gumsels leveled up, you stupid, you heron. Frick off, video game. Taking my best character. Dumb. What got me? What the? Why is my own guy attacking me? What the heck? My own homie is I guess we'll just chalk that up to bad RNG. We lost our best character, and then for some reason that character, he came with a little hornet that was attacking me, and I couldn't hurt him. I couldn't do anything to him. He just kept attacking me. I guess it's just bad RNG, boys. Oh, it's bad RNG. All right, I think this is a good little game. I think I can give this a pretty good endorsement with the caveats of obviously like it's very Binding of Isaac. It's not going to tell you what items are what. You've got to kind of memorize the you kind of have to like memorize what the little icons mean. So I started to pick up on like, oh, that'll make me faster. Oh, that makes my crit stronger and the like. So I think that's a fun little game. It's like $13 right now. So yeah, very, very solid. I'm probably going to try to finish Donkey Kong now, which I'm not going to stream that. So no green room. And unfortunately, we were on like a multi-week streak there, hitting the 500 goal for Friday night. And even last week going beyond that and hitting stretch and many weeks before. And this week, for whatever reason, the momentum wasn't there. So that's a little bit of a bummer going into a break, but there's nothing you can do. There's nothing for it. Nothing we can do to change it. So no stream tonight. No stream tomorrow. People are out of town. I mean, it could be that. I mean, the week was fine viewership wise. Like we had good turnout pretty much every day. Today, I don't count today. That we were a mess today. I started late and my computer was acting up, so the actual live stream didn't start till almost noon. Like that's a late start that probably hurt us a little bit. So today doesn't bother me at all that the results we got. That was a guarantee with how I started the day. But like the shows this week have been great. So the turnout's been very good and consistent. I appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a good if you celebrate. Obviously not everybody celebrates. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Again, there should be videos hitting while I am gone. So make sure and support those. Watch them, like them, leave comment. Yo, thank you so much, Hating, for 31 months, man. That's very kind. Let me add you to the total. That's a lot of months. That's a whole lot of months. So yeah, have a good Thanksgiving. Be safe. You guys know what I always say. If you're going to get-togethers and you are partaking in, the things that hurt your perceptive abilities, make sure you've got Lyft, Uber, and all those things installed on your phone ahead of time so you're not trying to figure it out once you've, had drinks or whatever else you might be partaking in, all right? Holidays are a bad time for that. People, you got to be careful, okay? So I'll end this stream, and then I'll, add the timestamps and everything. And also, we'll get those videos ready for while I am gone. So, yeah. All right. Appreciate you guys so much. Have a good holiday, and I will see you when I get back. We're coming back on a Saturday, and we do that now so that we have Sunday to re-engage and get back into the flow of things. So the Monday that I will be back is the 1st. So December the 1st, we'll be back. And with normal schedule, okay? Appreciate you guys. Take care, and see you in the Discord. There'll probably be a town hall or something this evening in a couple of hours, okay? All right, take care.